Hello, fictional. Welcome to the crossover What Ifs. Today we are gonna see, what if Naruto was the Airbender Extraordinaire? Part 1. Huge shout out to TAKESHI1225 for this story. If you end up liking this video, please consider subscribe, so without further ado, let's get into the video. Walking down the street, a teenage boy with unruly blonde spiky hair, 6 whisker marks, 3 on each cheek, tan skin and cerulean eyes. He wore black pants, black combat boots, think of black Carhartt boots, a grey tank top, black fingerless driving gloves, and a black unzipped jacket that had the sleeves rolled up to his elbows. The blonde teen had a large duffel bag containing items slung over his shoulder, and he was whistling a tune as he walked down the street. The blonde boy noticed a man who looked like a high roller, which made him earn a smirk in his head. The blonde walked past the man, but somehow money flew out of the man's pocket and landed straight into the blonde's hand. The blonde brought the money to his face and grinned. "Sucker," the blonde said as he continued to walk as he put the money in his pocket. As the blonde walked down the street, he noticed a wanted poster with a picture of himself on it. It said, "Wanted. Naruto the Blonde Devil, cash reward 10,000 yuan. I guess that stuff with the triads got me noticed, but come on, I'm worth way more than that." The blonde teen, now known as Naruto, said as he took down the poster and ripped it up. He considered it a waste to rip such a handsome face up, especially when it's his, but it's always best to keep a low profile. Besides, all I did was destroy a truck with nobody inside or around the area, so why try and convict me for that? Naruto said, throwing the pieces of paper onto the floor. "You know littering is against the law." Naruto turned around to see a skinny dude with dirty black hair, wearing baggy pants and an open vest. "Yow, what's up?" Naruto said, acting cool. "You stole from us." Yao said, not at all happy to see the blonde outlaw. "I figured you guys wouldn't mind me covering the finder's fee, considering I did most of the work." Naruto said with a beepy smirk as he checked his fingernails for dirt. "You never turn against a triad. Haven't your parents taught you that?" Yao raised his voice. "Not really, I ran away from home at a young age," Naruto said. "Well, somebody should have taught you that," Yao yelled. "Yao, a little piece of advice. Criminals shouldn't yell out in the open where cops can be at any time, plus, cover yourself dude, cause your body is gross," Naruto said, sick of looking at Yao's revealed torso. "Well, here's some advice for you. Never mess with a triad," Yao shouted. "Hey cops. The blonde devil's over here." Yao yelled to the cops at the end of the street. "There he is. It's Naruto," one of the cops yelled. "Hope you like jail," Yao shouted with a huge grin as he turned back to Naruto, only to get a punch in the face, knocking him out cold onto the floor. "Well, this place was nice, but I think I overstayed my welcome," Naruto said as he started to book it and get as far away as possible from the pigs. Naruto made a turn down an alleyway. "We got him now," one of the cops shouted, but as they turned the corner into the alley, all they found was nothing but a dumpster and trash. "Where'd he go?" the other officer asked with major confusion. "Hey pigs." The 2 police officers turned to see Naruto smirking at them while playing with a ring of keys with his index finger. "Looking for me?" Naruto said as he started to run again. "After him," one of the cops yelled, but as they tried to chase the blonde, they both fell down and saw that their legs were cuffed together. "How'd he do that?" the other cop asked. "Suckers," Naruto said as he started running for the docks. As he turned the corner to see cops there as well. "Oh man," Naruto said as he ran the other way. "Map," Naruto said as he opened his duffel bag and something from inside was moving, and then a map of the city poked out of it. "Thanks," Naruto said as he grabbed the map. Naruto then opened the map and checked the route of the city to see what path would lead him to the docks. "Okay, so if I go down this route." "Hold it right there," a cop yelled, running at Naruto only to get a kick in the face from the blonde. "I'll have to take a right." "Spread M," another cop yelled, running at Naruto with another cop running at the blonde on the other side, but Naruto just delivered 2 kicks to them, 1 for each. "Which will lead me down a big hill of street that goes straight to the dock." "Sweet," Naruto said as he put the map back in the duffel bag. "Thanks Mamoru." Naruto thanked whatever was in the bag that suddenly yipped at him. Naruto increased his speed and turned the corner and saw a wooden wheelbarrow which made him smirk. Naruto jumped on it and rode it downhill as a clerk yelled at him to bring it back. "Sorry, you're going to need to buy another one cause I'm not bringing it back," Naruto yelled back as he rode the wheelbarrow downhill. "Hey Mamoru, you got to check this out," Naruto said as he opened the duffel bag to reveal a fox kit with a black stripe going down from its neck to the tip of its tail, poking his head out. The little fox kit raised its front paws in the air with joy as Naruto laughed like a madman having fun. After having a long fun ride, Naruto held onto the duffel bag and Mamoru and then jumped out of the wheelbarrow before it fell into the ocean. "Time to find a ship," Naruto exclaimed as he ran into the docks and found a future industry speedboat. "Oh yeah. Riding with style." Naruto shouted as he jumped into the speedboat. Naruto opened the control box of the boat and hotwired it to turn on. There we go. Naruto said with a grin as the boat started and he sat at the driver's seat. Stop right there. A cop shouted as he and a whole group of police officers with him. Later suckers. Naruto shouted as he drove off from the harbor. Better luck next time. Naruto shouted as he laughed like a madman. So where to now, little buddy? Naruto asked his fox kid companion. Mamoru jumped out of the duffel bag with a book in its mouth. Naruto took it and read through it and saw a page that gave him interest. A public city, a place of beauty, sophistication, blah, 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 but best known for its triad crimes. A place with butts to kick around every corner and new problems and troubles to get into. Sounds like paradise. Naruto shouted as he gave the book back to Mamoru in exchange for a map. Republic City. Here comes Naruto the blonde devil. Naruto shouted as he pumped his fist in the air, shooting out a giant shot of wind. Mamoru yipped at his friend. Right, careful with the airbending, geez you sound like my mom. Naruto said. Later at night. Naruto was sleeping in the speedboat with his jacket over his torso like a blanket and Mamoru sleeping atop of his head. The boat was parked in the middle of the ocean at night. Suddenly the boat was starting to move slightly. No ladies, I'm sorry, but I'm not really much of a dancer. Naruto mumbled in his sleep. Suddenly the boat was starting to move some more that it woke Mamoru. Ladies, seriously, I don't dance. Naruto said. Suddenly the boat was starting to move rapidly that it finally awakened Naruto. What the heck? Naruto exclaimed as he sat up with Mamoru jumping off of Naruto's head. Who's rocking the boat? That's supposed to be my job. Naruto yelled as he got up. Suddenly the boat stopped, making the two a bit unnerved and on their guard. Okay, this is spooky. Naruto said. Suddenly a giant dark serpent with golden markings on its face looking like it was made of pure energy came out of the water and roared at the two. Did we have a few before going to bed? Naruto asked. Mamoru shook his head for no to his question. Okay, so now we can establish that it's real. Naruto said pointing at the thing. The monster went to strike at them, but Naruto thrust his hands forward and shot a giant shot of wind that hit the serpent and sent it back. Naruto quickly ran to the wheel of the boat and quickly hotwired it and quickly rode off away from the monster, but the creature started chasing after him. Mamoru. Map. Naruto shouted as the fox kid dug into the duffel bag and ran out with a map and gave it to Naruto. The closest place is the Southern Water Tribe, hate the cold, but forget it, I'm heading there. Mamoru, take the wheel. Naruto exclaimed as he got out of the driver's seat and allowed the fox to jump into the seat and take the wheel, and surprisingly, the fox was driving it well. Naruto threw the map in the duffel bag and then thrust his palms forward out the back of the speedboat and shot huge blasts of air out of them, giving their boat more speed and getting them away from the monster until they couldn't see it anymore. That's right, you ugly stupid s. But suddenly another giant dark serpent came out of the boat in front of them and roared as it came down on them. After staring at the monster coming down on them for a moment, all Naruto could say was, "Aw man." Before the monster hit their boat. At the abandoned festival in the Southern Water Tribe. The annual Glacier Spirits Festival was abandoned from an attack from what was thought to be a dark spirit. Sliding on freshly created ice was a wet Naruto holding a wet Mamoru wrapped in his jacket in one arm, his duffel bag wrapped around his shoulder, and his other arm extended with his palm shooting out intense air into the water to quickly create the ice. As he made it to the shore, Naruto jumped onto the land of snow and ice, where he starting panting from all the air power he delivered, considering he was 100,000 miles from the Southern Water Tribe. Well, we made it. Naruto said as he held his little shivering friend. Don't worry buddy, I'm sure we'll find a nice warm place too. Okay, we make a fire. Naruto said as he walked towards the festival and put Mamoru on a shelf of a game booth and then ripped some of the wood off of the booth and stacked it together in a pile. Naruto then dug into his duffel bag and took out a lighter and put the wood on fire. Okay buddy, let's get you warm. Naruto said as he grabbed Mamoru and sat near the fire making sure the fox kid was warm. Don't worry little buddy, just take all the time you need and then we'll start stealing and get into trouble again. Naruto said with a smile. Freeze. My butt's already on it thanks to the snow. Naruto said as a reflex. The blonde looked up to see the guards dressed in Northern Water Tribe guard uniforms. Aren't you guys supposed to belong in the north? Naruto asked. Who are you? One of the guards demanded answers. Isn't it usually polite to answer someone else's question before you ask one of your own? Naruto said acting like a smartass. Answer me. Okay fellows, here's how this is going to go. I don't answer your question, you guys come at me, I kick snow in your face, and then I run, which is the cue for you to call back. Naruto said as he grabbed his duffel bag and held both it and Mamoru tightly as he got ready for them. At him. The guard yelled. Naruto then quickly added air to his leg and kicked a great amount of snow at the guards, covering them in it, giving the blonde the chance to make a break for it and heading straight for the village. Not here 5 minutes and we wound up getting into trouble. Racked up a new record. Remember to write that down when you're all warmed up, Mamoru. Naruto yelled as he used his airbending skills to run as fast as the wind. Naruto made it into the village and hid behind an alley and checked if the coast was clear. He grinned to see that there were no guards around, and good thing too as Mamoru got out of his grasp and yawned cutely, and it probably would have given away their position. Naruto grabbed his jacket that was on the floor next to Mamoru and put it back on himself. Naruto and Mamoru walked out of the alley and saw a big place of residence, which made the blonde grin and rub his hands together like a stereotypical villain. Man, look at that place, I bet there's some cool stuff to loot in there. Naruto said, acting like an excited schoolgirl as he started running towards the giant building. Mamoru just sighed as he followed his best friend, hoping he wouldn't get into any major trouble. Who is he kidding? It's Naruto, of course he's going to get into trouble. Inside Unalaq's place of residence. Naruto grabbed a vase and started heading out to find a way out, since he already raided the vault and took as much money as his duffel bag and pockets could hold. This seems like enough. Naruto said with a grin as he looked at his little companion. Suddenly someone bumped into Naruto, harshly making the blonde drop to the floor with a vase breaking. "Aw man," Naruto whined as he stood up to see a group of masked men and a tall, built one getting up from the floor, obviously the one who bumped into him and who was carrying an unconscious man. "Ignoring Mr. Sandman here, what the hell is your problem? You wrecked the vase," Naruto shouted. "Get out of our way," the tall, built one ordered. "Or what?" Naruto said. Suddenly all the masked men surrounded him in their bending poses, which was of course waterbending poses, but Naruto picked his nose with his pinky, showing absolutely no fear, but a look of uncaring for the whole situation. "So what, you're all going to dance around me like little girls do at a birthday girl's party, making me feel like the happiest little person in the world? Sorry, but that just ain't my thing," Naruto said with a smirk, acting like a total smartass again. "Dead him?" the tall man shouted as everyone sent water at the kid and tried to freeze him in ice, but he somehow disappeared. "Where did he go?" one of the masked men wondered aloud, and his question was answered. "Tag!" Naruto yelled as he jumped down onto the man and bounced off of him. Naruto then rolled underneath a waterbender's water attack and kicked him in the leg, sending him to the ground. Naruto then proceeded to duck, roll and dodge the enemy waterbender's techniques and was taking them out with regular physical combat. Unalaq woke up in time to see the mysterious blonde boy defeating his captors. "Who is this boy?" Unalaq thought as the man carrying him was running away, but after the blonde quickly defeated the last bender, Naruto did a slide kick and knocked the kidnapper off of his feet, sending him and Unalaq to the ground. The masked man quickly stood up and sent a powerful water attack towards the boy, but just like with his comrades, the boy dodged his attack and delivered an uppercut to the man's jaw, sending him flying, and as the man landed, Naruto jumped in the air and stomped on the man's body, finally knocking the wind out of him. "That was for wrecking my vase," Naruto said as he gave a victorious smirk at the defeated man. "Hold it right there." Naruto turned to see a female water tribe girl, he could tell from the color of her skin, with dark brown hair and wearing winter water tribe clothes. Naruto's eyes widened with shock as he saw the girl running towards him, but then suddenly he was hit in the face by a block of frozen water that was sent straight at him from the girl. Mamoru stared at his best friend being sent flying, but he had a very confused look on his face at the sight of a dazed look and smile on Naruto's face before he landed on the icy ground. Mamoru made his way towards Naruto to see a smile on his face. "Mamoru, I think Cupid finally got me," Naruto said with a smile. Mamoru blinked and tilted his head and made a sound that sounded like he said huh. "Avatar Korra." Unalaq said his niece's name as he stood up from the ground. "Uncle?" Korra said as she went up to her uncle. "I'm afraid the young man you had just assaulted had saved me before you arrived," Unalaq said, patting away the snow from his clothing. "Oh," Korra said as she went to help the blonde she hit. "I'm so sorry." No, it's alright, you were just trying to save your uncle," Naruto said, patting away the snow from his clothes. "Plus, I do look kinda shady," Naruto said. "What are you even doing here?" Korra asked with a suspicious look on her face and her arms crossed. "Funny thing, me and my little friend Mamoru were on our way to the little festival this place had here, but then as crazy as this sounds, a giant dark serpent beast with yellow glowing eyes had destroyed our boat, leaving us to swim here, and when we did we found that the festival was completely abandoned, devoid of life." "You were attacked by a dark spirit," Korra exclaimed. "Dark spirit? You mean the spirits are pissed off? Why?" Naruto asked with major confusion. "It is because of this festival," Unalaq said. "It is a mockery to the spirits." "Yeah, I called BS last time I checked, the spirits don't really care about the humans' festivals and celebrations," Naruto said. And how do you know that? Korra asked with curiosity, but still being suspicious of the blonde. "'Cause I've met some, and they told me themselves, I just said whatever when they told me, not like it was a bad thing," Naruto said with a shrug. "You actually met spirits?" Korra looked at him with shock. "Yep," Naruto said with a dull look and his shoulders shrugging as he looked to the side with his eyes. Unalaq was now intrigued with this boy, not only did he save him, but he had made contact with real spirits. He could prove useful. Unalaq thought. The guards grabbed all the kidnappers and started taking them away. "Wait." Korra shouted as she ran up to the large man and unmasked him to see it wasn't her father. "Anyone you know?" Naruto asked. "No." Korra said. "Was my father with you?" Korra asked the man. Unalaq didn't want to assist his people, so he chickened out. The man said. "Smart move considering he's safe from a cell," Naruto said as the men were being taken away. "Hey wait. Where's my money?" one of them shouted. "My pouch of waterbending money's been stolen." "Which one of you two guards took my money?" Korra was confused as to what was up with the money problems, but then she turned towards Naruto and saw that he was crouched down and closing his duffel bag. Naruto smirked at the score he got, sure the vase was no more, but the cash he got from the kidnappers was a good consolation prize. "Hey, what's in the bag?" Korra asked as she made her way to Naruto. "Just my stuff and other things," Naruto said standing up and trying to act cool. Korra then suddenly took his duffel bag and opened it, but screamed with fear as a fox kit's head popped out of the bag. "I see you met Mamoru," Naruto said taking the bag back from Korra. "The fox kit? How cute," Korra said as she scratched Mamoru's chin earning a cute smile from the fox kit. "Yeah he sure is," Naruto said, but then he lightly smacked himself in the forehead. "Where are my manners? I just remembered I forgot to introduce myself," Naruto said as he extended his hands towards Korra. Naruto introduced himself with a smirk. Korra looked at him with a smile and shook his hand. Korra officially introduced herself. "The Avatar? Wow, no wonder that ice hurt like hell," Naruto said with a smile. "Oh gosh, I forgot, I am so sorry," Korra apologized. "Hey, it's okay, your uncle was being kidnapped and you just thought what was best, can't blame you for that," Naruto said with a smile. Korra didn't know why, but she couldn't help but smile at this boy. Naruto gave her a grin with inner satisfaction that he piqued the Avatar's interest. "I don't mean to ruin such a moment, but may I ask why you are here in my residence of stay here?" Unalaq asked wanting an answer. "Oh well you see, when Mamoru and I got here, the little guy was shivering from the cold water, so I borrowed some wood from a booth and made a fire with it to warm up the little guy, but some of your guards were very rude to us when we were found out, so we ran off, and I came here to make my presence known and complain," Naruto explained. "Well on behalf of me and the entire tribe I give my sincerest apologies," Unalaq said. "Oh so you're the southern tribe chief?" Naruto asked. "No, I am Unalaq, the northern water tribe chief," Unalaq said. "Really? Why are you here then?" Naruto asked. "To assist our sister tribe," Unalaq said. "Okay, I don't see how they need help, they look like they were doing fine by themselves, I mean they lived here for generations, doesn't look like they have a problem," Naruto said. "I'm afraid they do, the dark spirits have been attacking the tribe and they need our guidance," Unalaq said. "Isn't that the Avatar's job?" Naruto asked. "Excuse me?" Unalaq said with a raised eyebrow, while Korra had a surprised look on her face. "Well from what I can tell from her clothing that she's southern water tribe, so since the ones who live here are her people shouldn't she be the one guiding them?" Naruto said. Korra blinked her eyes with surprise. "Hey yeah, I should be the one to guide them. They're my tribe, not Unalaq's," Korra thought. "So, Avatar Korra, am I allowed to stay on your behalf since you're pretty much the princess of these parts?" Naruto said with a charming smile, making Korra blush. "Oh, yeah, sure," Korra said. "Thanks," Naruto said. "I'll be seeing you around Water Princess," Naruto said as he started heading out. "Wait. Don't you need a place to stay?" Korra called out to Naruto. "I'll just make a camp, no big deal," Naruto said as he continued to walk. Korra really wished she could have helped him, but she felt she would meet him again. Unalaq looked at the boy with interest, but with some caution as well. "I should really keep an eye on this one," Unalaq thought. The next day on the streets. Naruto was walking around with Mamoru enjoying the day, taking stuff that doesn't belong to them, the usual. Suddenly they had heard something big from one of the southern water tribe people. "Did you hear? Tanrak was arrested this morning," a tribe member said. "Who's Tanrak?" Naruto wondered, but then suddenly he forgot it all from the sight of a hefty amount of cash a man had in his pouch, making the blonde smile. Naruto walked down the man's way and took the pouch of money as he walked by. "Hey you! Stop!" A guard shouted as he noticed Naruto stealing the man's money. "Time to book it Mamoru," Naruto said as he grabbed his fox kit companion and started running. As the blonde was dashing down the streets of the village, he noticed that a lot more guards were after him. Damn, all this for a pouch of money. Mamoru then yipped something to Naruto. Yeah, their wives must be way too busy for them. Naruto said as he and Mamoru started laughing. After a while of running, Naruto found a building that looked important and started climbing the wall with a little airbending and reached a window. Naruto then opened the window and climbed inside and sat on the luxury couch inside, thinking the Northern Water Tribe soldiers would cease their chase. And once again, the blonde devil vanishes with the wind. Naruto said, placing Mamoru on the couch as he juggled the pouch of money with a single hand, but then the blonde noticed that he wasn't alone. Naruto looked up to see a group of teenagers, 2 boys and a female, and all 3 of them have dark hair. One of the boys had dark hair that stuck up at the front and had a slim face, amber eyes and a slim muscular figure, and wore a grey coat with red lining with the sleeves rolled up, brown pants, knee-high footwear and a red scarf around his neck. The other boy had more of a thick and muscular bodybuilding and had an angular chin, a haircut that was combed way back and had strand of hair down the middle of his forehead and emerald eyes, and he wore a dark forest green coat with light forest green lining that was like the other boy's shirt that had its sleeves rolled up to his elbows, brown pants and knee-high footwear and a green sash tied around his waist. Basically his clothing was like the other boys only in different colors, and the first wore a red scarf while the other had a green sash. The female was a pretty, well actually she was straight up beautiful young woman with long dark hair that looked like it was treated well with the volume of that hair. She also wore makeup, wore a fashionable coat, red dress skirt, black stockings and fashionable black boots. Basically, she looked like one of those fashionable rich girls, and Naruto had the feeling he was right on the money there. Sorry, didn't know this place was occupied. Naruto said with a cool smile. Wait, that voice, I know that voice anywhere. A voice from the stuffed platypus bear. Wait a minute, that can't be, Naruto said, recognizing the voice. The mouth of the stuffed platypus bear opened up to reveal a water tribe man with dark hair and a mustache. Naruto, my boy. The man shouted with enthusiasm and a huge grin. Well, as I live and breathe, Varrick. Naruto shouted the eccentric man's name with a huge grin as he stood up and made his way to the man and gave him a handshake. How's it been, old friend? Great. Except for the fact I am wanted now for planning a rebellion. Varrick said. What about you? Wanted for the usual. Naruto said, juggling the money in his hand. And it took one morning. The 2 then laughed like they heard a hilarious joke. The other 3 in room looked at them with confused looks, wondering what the heck was going on. So who are these 3? Naruto asked. Oh right, where are my manners? The young beautiful lady is Asami Sato, my new business associate. Varrick introduced the stunning woman in the room. Oh, the heiress, or should I say owner of future industries. Naruto said, extending his hand towards her. Nice to meet you, I'm sorry about your father. It's okay, and it's nice to meet a friend of Varrick's. Asami said, shaking the blonde's hand. The strapping young man next to her is my good friend Bolin, and he's an earthbender. Varrick introduced the young earthbender. Sup, the name's Naruto. Naruto said to the earthbender, going for a high five. Bolin, good to meet you. Bolin said, returning the high five as a fire ferret came out of his coat. And this is Pabu. Hey there, little guy. Naruto said, petting the fire ferret. Oh, I almost forgot, the fox lounging on the couch is Mamoru. Naruto said, pointing to the fox lying on his back on the couch. Is he a fire fox? Bolin asked. Nope, just a regular fox. Naruto said. Well, that's weird. Bolin said. Mamoru then yipped something in response. Mamoru, be nice. Naruto said. You can understand him, Bolin exclaimed with shock. Like I understand you. Naruto said with a smirk. And the last one is Mako, I just heard he's a cop. Varrick said. Oh great. Naruto thought with annoyance, after all, cops and outlaws like him don't mix. Mako just looked at Naruto with narrowed eyes. It was obvious he was a criminal, since he did say to Varrick that he was wanted for taking someone's pouch of money. So where are you stationed at? Naruto asked. Republic City. Mako said. Oh, okay then, nice to meet ya. Naruto said with a cool smile as he patted Mako on the shoulder. See why I like this kid? He's great. Varrick said. Julie, fix Naruto up his favorite. Right away, sir. Julie said. Julie, is that you? How you doing, girl? Naruto said, walking back towards Varrick and Julie's hiding spot. Hi Naruto, thank you for asking. Julie said as he hand reached out of the platypus bear's mouth with a cup of coffee for Naruto. Naruto took the cup and took a sip and licked his lips from the deliciousness. Strong, hot and knows how to pack a punch, just my type. Naruto said with a smile as he took another sip. Just like your taste in woman. Thank goodness you didn't ask for honey, cause this thing doesn't have any, and it's a bear for Pete's sake. Varrick said, still ticked about the lack of honey in his previous cup of tea. So anyway, what brings you here to the South Pole? Well, after stealing from the triads of a city whose name I really don't care about or bother to remember, I took to the seas with Mamoru and headed straight for Republic City. But what the Avatar, a smoking hot babe who knows how to pack a punch I might add, calls a dark spirit which was in the shape of a sea serpent, attacked me and my foxy friend over there, making us come all the way here. And when I took some wood from the abandoned Glacier Spirits Festival booths to create a fire, some Northern Water Tribe guards tried to arrest me for trying to give my friend on the couch some heat to warm up, so I tossed snow at them and ran off and went to complain to whoever ran the place, so I went to the big house to complain. But as I did, some rude men kidnapping some guy who I didn't care about bumped into me and were very rude, so I taught them a lesson, and after that I met the smoking hot Avatar and that creepy Unalaq guy who was being kidnapped, and I was given the okay to stay here. But of course, after waking up this morning I got into the habit of creating trouble again, so I climbed up this building, went through the window, and here we are. Naruto explained the whole story. I see, so you're the one who stopped the rebels. Varrick exclaimed, pointing at Naruto accusingly. To be fair, they were rude to me and broke a vase I was liberating for good reason. Naruto said, shrugging his shoulders. Fair enough. Varrick said. How is that fair? Mako said, not liking this Naruto guy. So Varrick, you've been here longer than I have, what's been happening? Naruto asked. That Unalaq character you accidentally rescued the other day was taking over the South Pole, so we scheduled to kidnap him so his forces would leave, but the plan was ruined of course, so now the chief of the tribe Tonrak was arrested along with his wife, even though they chickened out and had nothing to do with the kidnapping, and now I'm wanted, and that's why I'm hiding in Ping Ping with Julie. Varrick said. And here I thought my life was crazy. Naruto said. Either way, I don't like that Unalaq guy, he's got the eyes of a snake in the grass. Coming from you, I'd listen to your words, like that time you told me not to make that deal with that one client, turns out you were right since he was really a scammer. Varrick said. So you think Unalaq's got the judge on his side to convict his brother? Naruto said. You know I do. Varrick said. Bolin, I got something for you, and Naruto round back. Varrick said as money came out of the bears behind. I'm not touching that. Naruto said, but luckily Bolin took it. Bribe money for you bet, a couple of yuans and you're set, Bolin. Naruto knows the game, so listen to him. Varrick said. He's right, after all I learned from the best who was genius enough to hide in a platypus bear. Naruto said with a smirk. You're too kind. Varrick said, smiled and waved his hand from flattery. By the way, you still owe me a ride on Julie. Naruto said, getting extreme shocked looks from the other people in the room. They don't know about the battleship that you named after her, do they? Well, now they do. Varrick said. At the courthouse, before the trial. Naruto and Bolin found the judge, who was the only one who was going to force upon judgment for the trial. Excuse me sir, but the people standing on trial are considered real important to the Southern Water Tribe, so do you think you can find it in your heart to find them innocent? I mean, they are family men looking out for those they love, no sense in blaming them for that, right? Naruto said, offering the money as he sounded like a concerned young man. They are to stand trial for kidnapping Unalaq. They may be family men, but they fully knew what they were doing. The judge said. Okay fine, but the chief of the Southern Water Tribe had nothing to do with this. Varrick planned the whole thing, blame him, but not the chief, so please look it in your heart to let the leader, the hero and beloved icon of the Southern Water Tribe off the hook. I mean, he wasn't involved in the kidnapping, and I should know, I beat the crap out of all the rebels, and he wasn't there. Naruto said. He helped in the planning. The judge said. How the heck did he help in the planning? The rebels had said he had nothing to do with it. Naruto argued. But the plan was created in his home. The judge said. Well he's their leader, who else would be the first person they trust to let them into their own home, but that doesn't mean he helped in any way. I was there, and he rejected the idea immediately when it was spoken. Naruto said. Bolin was about to speak about him not being there since he said he got here last night, but Mamoru bit Bolin's leg, making him howl in pain. Don't mind my cousin, he's just playing with my pet fox who can play a little rough sometimes. Look, you seem like a nice boy, but this isn't part of your business. The judge said. That man is my future father-in-law, it is my business. Naruto said, sounding emotionally pissed. Mamoru had to bite Bolin's leg again, so the earthbender wouldn't say anything to mess anything up. I'm sorry, but this is in the hands of the law. The judge said. No it's not, it's in your hands and you know the chief is innocent, I can see it in your eyes. Naruto said. My answer is still no to your bribery. The judge said as he was about to turn away, but Naruto stopped him. Wait a minute. Naruto said as he dug into his pocket and took out a huge amount of money that neither Bolin nor the judge had ever seen before. 500,000 yuan if you look the other way for the chief. Naruto said. Bolin's jaw almost fell off his face and onto the floor at hearing this, while the judge stared at the money with shock. So you gonna take it? Naruto asked with a serious look on his face. No. I must not. You leave me alone or else I'll stand you for trial. The judge said, acting serious. Alright then, stand me on trial for trying to help a good man. Naruto said. How do you know he's a good man? The judge said. He raised the avatar and I know for a fact that she's a great girl and a man who raised someone like her is a good man, I know it. Naruto said with his own serious look. The judge was sweating, this boy was scaring him and he didn't like it. I am done talking to you. The judge said as he quickly got away from Naruto. Naruto glared at the man's retreating form. There's something up with that man. Naruto said walking back to Bolin. Varrick was right, this trial's rigged. Naruto said. No. Bolin said with shock. Wait, when you said you were there. I lied. Naruto said. And you mentioning Korra's dad being your future father-in-law. A lie as well, but I wouldn't mind it, after all the avatar's a looker. Naruto said. Yeah, she sure is, but she's Mako's girlfriend. Bolin said. Seriously? Mr. Personality got her? Naruto said with shock. Bolin then started laughing his butt off. Mr. Personality, good one. Bolin said, still having the giggles. But my brother's not so bad. He's your brother? How do you deal with him? Naruto asked. Easy, he's a real softie when you get to know him, plus just be yourself and ignore his look. Bolin said. When you mean look, you mean his entire face, right? Naruto said with a smirk. You sound very mean. Bolin said. Your brother rubs me the wrong way, I mean he's a cop and I'm an outlaw. Naruto said with a shrug. You're an outlaw, Bolin exclaimed. Geez, shouted it out to the world, why don't ya? Naruto said. Sorry. Bolin said. It's okay. Naruto said, patting Bolin's shoulder. We better head to the trial. But what about Korra's dad? What do we do to save him? Bolin asked with concern and worry. You leave that to me, Bolin. Naruto said, smirking with his arm wrapped around Bolin's neck and placing his thumb on his own chest. I am an expert at getting myself and others out of trouble. Really? Where were you when Mako and I were in the triads? Bolin said. Somewhere in this weird world. Naruto said as he, Bolin and Mamoru were heading straight for the courtroom. Inside the courtroom, trial in session. Naruto was sitting next to Bolin and Asami as they all watched the trial that decided the rebels and Korra's parents' fate. Thank goodness Naruto was with Bolin and he was the one carrying the money, or else Bolin would have given the money to a couple of strangers dressed like a couple of big shots. We think the trial's rigged. Bolin whispered to Asami. What? Asami said with shock. Well, Naruto thinks it's rigged because the judge didn't take an added 500,000 yuan he put in with Varrick's money. Bolin whispered, making Asami's eyes widen. It wasn't just the fact he didn't take the money like any other judge would do, but it was because of how he looked at the bucks. His eyes were widened with fear, along with sweat going down his brow. The guy was afraid of taking the cash, like his life depended on the choice, and I know for a fact with the amount of fear inside those eyes of his, that his life does depend the choices he makes today. Naruto said. What do you mean? Who would the judge be afraid of? Asami asked. How about the one person who has more power than he does and can decide his fate if that person was displeased of the results? Naruto said, pointing to the back of Unalaq. Unalaq? But why would he want to see his own brother be sent to jail? Bolin asked. Unknown to the three, Korra was listening in on the three, hanging on to every word. I heard the story of how this Tonrak dude got banished, and it's obvious that these anonymous bandits were paid off by Unalaq, so Tonrak could go into this spirit forest or whatever and cause some accidental damage to it so the spirits could attack and Unalaq could calm them down and look like he was a better candidate to become the Northern Water Tribe chief, since the eldest, Tonrak, was supposed to be chosen and lead to his brother being banished, so he would never have to worry about him screwing anything up for him. And now look at where we are, Tonrak on the end of having judgment placed upon him and Unalaq sitting by and enjoying the fun of seeing his elder brother on trial for something he didn't do and has nothing to worry about since the judge works for him. Naruto said. But why would Unalaq want to see his brother convicted? Bolin said. Elementary for outlaws, my dear Bolin, the water princess is his reason to see his brother go down. What I've heard, Unalaq's got two messed up twins for kids, while his elder brother had the avatar as his child. That sole fact must have torn him up inside, that he wanted nothing more than to ruin his brother's life, and getting her on his side was just phase 1 of hurting the man and making him suffer. Naruto said. Bolin, Asami and Korra's eyes widened with shock, for they now realized that Naruto was right, everything now made sense to them. I seriously want to punch the guy's teeth out. Naruto said, glaring at the back of Unalaq. Not before me. Korra thought as her hand tightened into a trembling fist. I can sense the guy's aura, he's a snake in the grass and a stone cold. The court is now in session. The judge, Hata, said aloud as he used his gavel. Oh goody, the coward finally found his cute little toy hammer, this should be fun. Naruto said sarcastically. Naruto sat back and listened to the trial and was bored out of his mind, but then he heard his name being spoken and realized that he was mentioned as Unalaq savior, which wasn't something he wanted to be known for. Naruto saw Korra being questioned about what had happened at the meeting at her father's house, which Hinata felt was all the evidence he needed. "Some judge," Naruto said. "Is there something you wish to say, young man?" Hoth asked. Yes, how are you going to judge someone so quickly without getting all the details of what went down in the meeting?" Naruto asked. "What is that supposed to mean?" Hinata asked, not liking this boy. "Well, it's just you didn't ask what everyone was talking about in the meeting, you know. Who started the conversation about the plan? Who went along with it? Did they know the consequences? You didn't ask any of those questions," Naruto said, standing up from his seat. "Well, I mean, you didn't even ask the rebels what happened in the meeting," Naruto said, making Hinata's eyes widen a bit. "They would most likely lie," Hinata retorted. "Their faces were seen, their identities confirmed, and no doubt they're getting life in the slammer. What's the point in lying now if it's not going to do anything for them? And it does look like that they don't like their chief right now," Naruto said. Hinata was in a bad position now. He knew the blonde was right, and apparently he had people on his side now, agreeing with his logic. "All I'm saying is that I feel everyone deserves to hear the rebels' side of the story. I mean, that isn't too much to ask, huh, Judge?" Naruto said with a smirk. Hinata couldn't help but sweat, and in the end, he had no choice but to listen to the rebels. The rebels had told their sides of the story, and the story was all the same. Unalaq left, not wanting any part of the rebellion, with Varrick being the ringleader in the whole operation, and of course the fact that Naruto had stopped them and they didn't like the blonde one bit. "Alright, I've heard all I need to. I would return shortly with my decision," Hinata said as he left the room. Korra looked back at Naruto to see him reading a book about her previous incarnation, Avatar Aang, but he looked up at her and gave her a wink, making her blush and turn away. Naruto had noticed that Bolin had left, so he went to find him, only to find out that crazy chick Eska had forced him into marrying her at sunset and dragging the crying Bolin away. Naruto just went back to his seat and decided to help him out later, if he's able to anyway. "Hey, Mako is Bolin's brother, right?" Naruto asked Asami. "Yeah, why do you ask?" Asami asked. "Apparently if we don't do something, Mako's going to have a sister-in-law," Naruto said, shocking Asami. "You know I'm right here," Mako said, who was sitting next to Asami. "Oh, hey, didn't see you there," Naruto said nonchalantly, which made Mako glare at him. "Oh man, poor Bolin," Asami said. "Yeah, royals like that Eska chick that's had everything given to them ever since their birth usually are crazy," Naruto said. "Hey, I wanted to know something." "Shoot." Naruto gave the okay. "How do you know Varrick?" Asami asked. "Well, one time when I worked for the Triads, they made a deal with Varrick and I was chosen to deal with him since they thought he was nuts. Varrick took a liking to me, I helped him out a bit, we became good friends, yada yada yada, you get the point," Naruto said. "I see," Asami said. Naruto then noticed that Unalaq had returned to his seat. "Where's he been?" Naruto wondered. Hinata then re-entered the room and sat back down in his seat. "Would the defendants please rise and stand before me?" Hinata ordered as the accused did as they were told. "Senna, please step forward." Hinata ordered as Korra's mother did so. "I have found you, innocent, you are free to go," Hinata said as a guard then freed her from her handcuffs. Senna then ran to her daughter and gave her a hug that her daughter gladly returned. "Unalaq, please step forward." Hinata ordered as Korra's father stepped forward. "I have found you also innocent, you are free to go." Hinata ordered as a guard released Unalaq of his restraints, allowing him to return to his family and enter a group hug with them. Naruto smiled seeing Korra happy, he didn't know why, but seeing her happy made him happy. "On the charge of treason, I have found you all guilty. The punishment for this crime is death," Hinata said, making everyone gasp. Naruto glared at the judge, deciding to speak with him a little later. Court adjourned. Hinata said as he started to leave with the guards taking the rebels away. "Hold on, you can't just kill them. If you take their lives then I'll take yours," Korra shouted, making everyone look at her with shock. Naruto looked at Korra with shock and amazement as his heart felt like it was beating 1,000,000 times per second. "Whoa, she's amazing," Naruto thought as he stared at her. "Korra, calm down, I'll talk with him," Unalaq said as he walked up to Hinata. "I know I promised that I'd respect whichever decision you'd made, but I must ask you to reconsider. Show these men mercy," Unalaq asked. Naruto stared at Unalaq, knowing what he really was trying to do, he was trying to earn Korra's trust. "Very well, I'll change their punishment," Hinata said as he turned to the rebels. "Your lives will be spared, but you will live them out in prison," Hinata said before the rebels were taken away. Naruto watched Hinata leave, which was his cue to leave as well. Naruto grabbed his duffel bag and walked out of the courtroom and heading straight for the building's exit. "Naruto, wait." Naruto turned to see Korra running up to him. "Hey water princess, what's up?" Naruto said with a smile. Korra then gave him a hug which surprised him. "I wanted to thank you for speaking up," Korra said as she pulled back from Naruto. "If you hadn't, my dad probably would have joined the rebels," Korra said with a smile. "No problem, I always hate when someone innocent is on the receiving end of law's judgment," Naruto said. "Listen Korra, something's up with the judge." "Does it have something to do with Unalaq?" Korra asked, getting serious. "Wait, how did you?" "I heard you telling Asami and Bolin about what you thought Unalaq has been doing to my father, and I agree with you," Korra said. "Wow, you got good hearing," Naruto said with a smile. Korra couldn't help but blush at his smile. "Well, if you're willing, I could use some help with talking with the old man." "We'll take Naga," Korra said as she and Naruto went for the exit. "Who's Naga?" Naruto asked. Later. Driving on the road on the side of a mountain, Hada was driving in his car until he noticed that Korra and Naruto riding on Naga were chasing him. Hada started speeding up, but the polar bear dog was fast and slammed the car to the side, making Hada lose control of his vehicle and have it rammed in the side of the mountain. Hada groaned from the impact, but then Naruto opened his door, grabbed him and slammed him into the side of his car. "What do you want?" Hada asked with fear. "To know what's Unalaq's game, so spill or else," Naruto said menacingly with a glare. "Or else what?" Hada asked, acting brave. Naruto beat his fist back and added some air around it before slamming his fist straight into Hada's car, leaving a huge dent making Hada and Korra's eyes widen, the first with fear and the latter with shock. "I think that spoke volumes, don't you think?" Naruto said with a smirk on his face. "Look, all I did was do everything he said to keep the trial looking fair. He wanted Tanrak out of the way, but after you spoke up he knew that would only make people suspicious," Hada said. "Yeah, I got that, and the fact that he only spared those rebels lives so he could keep Korra on his side, but what I really want to know is about the banishment," Naruto said as he then dragged Hada to Naga and put his head at Naga's open mouth. "Unalaq was behind Tanrak's punishment, was he not?" Naruto asked with a dangerous smirk on his face. Yes, he was," Hada screamed with fear of being Naga's new chew toy. "Tell me everything you know, I want to cherish this moment," Naruto said sounding scary. Korra couldn't help but be amazed at how good Naruto was at intimidating people and getting answers. She's got to learn a thing or two from him. In Varrick's office. "Unalaq's a liar and a traitor," Korra said to Mako, Asami and Varrick, still inside Ping Ping, with Naruto next to her. "That's what I've been telling you from the get-go," Varrick said. "What happened?" Mako asked. "Turns out Naruto was right. Unalaq hired the barbarians to attack the North Tribe's village, then he told them to hide out in the spirit forest, knowing that my dad would go after them," Korra said. "Unalaq wanted your dad out of the way so he could become chief," Mako said. "Yeah, glad you figured it all out, I was confused about the whole thing," Naruto joked, making Mako glare at him. "I suggest we tell your dad and bust out the rebels, he's going to need them," Naruto said. "Agreed," Korra said. "You're going to trust him?" "Korra, he's a criminal," Mako said. "He also saved my father from ending up in prison. I trust him," Korra said, defending Naruto. Naruto couldn't help but smile at her, no one had ever defended him before except for a kind old man he met a long time ago. "But Korra, you realize if you do this, there's no going back," Mako said. "She's a big girl, she knows the consequences," Naruto said, making Korra smile. "Besides, better than what's happening now." "Good point." Mako had to agree. "So will you help me or not?" Korra asked. "Of course I'll help you," Mako said. "Me too," Asami said. "Count me in," Varrick said. "What about you Naruto?" Korra asked the blonde. "I thought I was already in," Naruto said with a smile that made Korra smile back at him. The others noticed the way they were looking at each other and Mako didn't like it one bit. Suddenly the doors opened up to reveal Bolin wearing a Water Tribe outfit that was exactly like Eska's, along with Pabu and the Earthbender's hair in a gel bowl style fashion. "Oh snap Bolin, I almost forgot about you," Naruto said. "Man, and I thought that Eska chick was crazy enough, but don't worry, I'll get you out of this whole marriage thing." "Please do," Bolin begged. "Look, we're about to bust out the rebels, are you in?" Naruto asked. "Will Eska hate me for doing so?" Bolin asked. "I don't think so, but we're planning to go to Republic City after this, so that'll get you away from her for a while," Naruto said. "Done." Bolin agreed. "We didn't agree to go to Republic City," Mako said. "Better than staying here after the bust," Naruto said. "The boy's right," Varrick agreed. "Now all of you gather around Ping Ping, let's talk plan." At the prison. The guard was walking down the hall of the prison when suddenly he was pulled into a square-shaped hole in the ground and then was shocked into unconsciousness by Asami and her electrified glove. Team Avatar along with Naruto and Tanrak jumped out of the hole and headed straight for the cells that held the rebels. "Why are you still carrying that bag?" Mako asked Naruto. "You never know when it might come in handy," Naruto said with a smirk. Naruto then stopped in his tracks, making everyone turn to him. "Had a feeling that you'd be here," Naruto said as he turned around to face Unalaq. "Where are the rebels?" "On a ship headed to the northern tribe. They'll serve out their sentences there," Unalaq said. "Bring them back or else I'll take you out along with the rest of your army," Korra said. "Remember who you are. As the Avatar, you cannot threaten war, you must remain neutral," Unalaq said. "He is right," Naruto said with a shrug of his shoulders. Korra felt like punching Naruto in the head, but Naruto suddenly threw throwing knives at Unalaq. Unalaq moved to the side to dodge the knives and then noticed Naruto was about him with his leg up and then sent an axe kick down on him, but Unalaq jumped back to avoid the attack. "But the same cannot be said about me," Naruto said with a toothy, dangerous grin. "You have been a thorn in my side for a while now," Unalaq said, glaring at Naruto. "And you have been making me urge to want to deck you in the face," Naruto said, cracking his knuckles. "Enough. Naruto, this is my fight," Tanrak said. "Oh brother, you've already lost this fight," Unalaq said. Mamoru then jumped out of Naruto's bag and yipped at something behind them. Everyone turned to see a northern waterbender guard sending sharp icicles at them. Mako quickly sent fire at the icicles, melting them. Unalaq suddenly sent his own barrage of icicles at them. Bolin quickly used his earthbending to create an earthy shield from the ground to protect them, while Mako sent a blast of fire at the guard, making him fall unconscious. "All I ever wanted was to help you realize your destiny, Avatar Korra," Unalaq said. "Well, I don't need your help," Korra shouted. Once the shield went down, Korra ran at Unalaq, but Unalaq was prepared for her. When the shield came up, Unalaq had sent water to the ground for his next move, which was freezing Korra's feet to stop her in her tracks. Once Korra was stripped of her movement for the moment, Unalaq sent a big ball of ice her way to knock her out. "Korra!" Naruto shouted the Avatar's name as he quickly got in front of her. Naruto didn't know what came over him, but he sent wind to his fist and sent it to the ball of ice, breaking it, and then sent a blast of air at Unalaq, sending him back into the wall. Everyone looked at Naruto with immense shock at his unbelievable feat. "If we get to Varrick's boat, we can still save the rebels," Naruto said as he helped break Korra out of the ice trap. "You're an airbender," Korra said with shock. "And you're beautiful," Naruto said with a smirk, making Korra blush. "Now that we established that, we better get out of here." Naruto and the others then ran towards an exit. Unalaq started to pick himself up and looked up to see they were all gone. "Another airbender, huh? Things have just gotten interesting," Unalaq thought. Later. Team Avatar with Naruto, Mamoru who was inside his blonde companion's bag, Tanrak, Varrick and Zhu Li, the latter two who were still inside of Ping Ping, were at the docks where the boats were being kept. 2 Northern Water Tribe guards were guarding the boats, specifically Varrick's. "How do we get on that ship?" Asami asked. "Leave that to the master," Naruto said. Naruto then opened his bag to reveal Mamoru with eyeshadow in his mouth before the fox kid gave it to the blonde. Naruto quickly applied it to one of his eyes, making it look like he had a black eye before he headed straight towards the crowd. Naruto quickly went behind an unsuspecting man and placed a full pouch in his hand. The man looked at his hand to find the pouch and to raise his eyebrow with confusion, and as the man was wondering where the pouch came from, Naruto went to the floor looking like a helpless victim. "Help. He stole my money," Naruto shouted and pointing accusingly at the man. The guards noticed and ran at the man. "Wait, I didn't." The man was then tackled down to the floor as Naruto got away. "Whoa," Bolin said. "Gotta hand it to him, he sure knows how to cause a distraction," Asami said. Naruto motioned for the others to follow him. The group then made it aboard the ship with Varrick starting the boat up. "I still say that you should have let me and Zhu Li do our little trick," Varrick said. "One of the last things I ever want to see is a platypus bear crap out money," Naruto said with a dull look on his face as he wiped away the makeup over his eye. "Think you can get us to the ship?" Korra asked Varrick. "Sure, as long as you get us past our friends from the north," Varrick said, pointing to the many amounts boats further ahead. "If only we had a plane that could get me close to those ships, then I could waterbend them out of the way," Korra said. "A plane? Why didn't you say so?" Varrick said as he slammed Ping Ping's paw onto a red button, making a plane come from out beneath the ship's deck. Why do you have a plane on your boat?" Mako questioned. "It's stupid for a rich man not to have one," Naruto said. "Exactly. It's the best thing to have just in case the boat sinks," Varrick said. "But there's no runway, how are we supposed to take off?" Asami questioned. "Zhu Li, take a note. Build runway," Varrick ordered. "Yes, sir," Zhu Li said. "I have an idea," Korra said. After building a makeshift runway with 2 long pieces of wood to help bring the plane up into the air, Korra and Mako jumped onto the wings of the plane and got ready for Korra's plan. Asami started the plane and started to take off. Now. Korra shouted as she extended her hand behind herself and fired a huge concentration of fire out of her hand, with Mako doing the same thing. As the plane went off the boat, it went into the sky heading straight towards the boats. Naruto couldn't help but smile as he saw the 3 fly away. Strong, fiery, cute and smart too, she's one of a kind. Naruto said to himself in a low volume. As the boat was heading straight for the guarding boats, Korra summoned her avatar state and bent the water to send the boats to the side, making them make a way for Varrick's boat to cross. One of the guards on a northern patrol boat used a telescope to see who was driving the boat, only to spot a platypus bear at the wheel. Sir, you're not going to believe this," the guard said to his superior. The team then started searching for the ship that carried the rebels, and after a long while of searching, Korra spotted it. Asami headed straight for the ship's location and flew close to its side. "Jump!" Korra shouted as her, Mako and Asami jumped off the plane and into the water, as the plane then crashed into the water and exploded, earning all the guards' attention. Korra used her waterbending to create an air bubble for her, Mako and Asami to breathe in as they swam for the boat. Korra then used her waterbending to rise them onto the ship, as she then surrounded her arms with water tentacles and whipped the guards on deck off of the ship. One of the guards was spared and headed straight for the door that led inside the ship, but Korra sent a stream of water at him that slammed him into the wall and then froze him in place. "Where are the prisoners?" Korra demanded answers. After getting answers from the guard, Korra, Mako and Asami freed the prisoners. Korra and the others make it to the edge of the ship as Varrick's boat came next to them and jumped onto it as the rest of the northern guards started sending water attacks their way. Once they were all aboard, Varrick drove the ship away from the northern boat as fast as possible back towards the South Pole. Later. "So now that we all know Unalaq is a traitor to both the South and Northern water tribes, then that means that the rebellion is official, right?" Naruto asked Tanrak as they made their way to the rebels. "Yes. I've been running from my past for too long. It's time to put my brother in his place," Tanrak said. "Also, I wish to thank you for everything, Naruto." "It was nothing," Naruto said, waving it off. "Nothing? Are you insane?" Korra shouted as she made her way to the blonde. "You saved my dad and the rebels, and you helped expose Unalaq for who he was. That's not nothing." "I don't understand it though. I mean, you're a criminal, so why would you help any of us?" Mako questioned. "Well, Mr. Personality, it's because I'm not like the criminals you're used to. There is such a thing as a criminal who's happy to help others, just as there are cops who help out bad people for a sum of money or anything else," Naruto said. Mako couldn't disagree with that logic. "Anyway, I wish you and your men the best, Chief Tanrak," Naruto said, giving a respectful bow to Tanrak. Korra couldn't help but smile at how nice of a guy Naruto was. "You have our support, Chief Tanrak," one of the rebels said as he and the rest placed their fists over their hearts. "Mine too. I'll be proud to fight alongside you, Dad," Korra said with a proud smile. "No, Korra," Tanrak said. "But you said the South doesn't stand a chance against Unalaq's forces." "I can help," Korra said. "The best way for you to help is by getting the President of the United Republic on our side. The South can give Unalaq a good fight for a while, but we'll need the United Forces to help us win this war," Tanrak said. Korra felt saddened that she couldn't help her father in the revolution, but that she felt Naruto placing his hand on her shoulder. Korra looked into the blonde's eyes and understood that he meant to tell her that she should listen to her father, giving her a new resolve. "Alright, I'll get you all the help you need," Korra said. Korra then went to her father and the two then shared a hug. "I love you, Dad." "I love you too," Tanrak said with a happy smile. As they separated, Tanrak looked towards Naruto. "Naruto, I wish to entrust you to stand by Korra's side while I stay behind to fight." "You can count on me, sir." "I mean, Korra doesn't look like someone who needs someone always standing beside her when things get rough, but it doesn't hurt to have someone there just in case you need them, right?" Naruto said with his trademark grin and scratching the back of his head. Tanrak smiled at him and nodded while Korra's cheeks turned a cute shade of pink as she smiled at Naruto. After gathering the rebels together and arriving near the southern tribe home, Tanrak had created a platform made of ice for him and the rebels to ride on back to the shore. Team Avatar along with Naruto watched as Tanrak and the rebels made it back to shore. "I really need to thank you too, Korra, Naruto," Bolin said. "For what?" Korra questioned. "For getting him away from that crazy Asuka chick," Naruto answered. "But I started a civil war." "Exactly. Now Asuka and I are officially broken up," Bolin said with a happy and relieved smirk on his face. "Oh, looks like we have company," Varrick said looking through his telescope. "And not the fun kind." Everyone walked towards the window to see something coming straight for them. "What is that?" Mako questioned. Bolin took the telescope from Varrick and looked through it to see a frightening and furious-looking Eska, looking like a horrifying banshee, coming straight at them from the water with her makeup running. "That would be my darling Eska," Bolin said. "Okay, Crazy X alert, time to hightail it out of here," Naruto said as he grabbed the controls and started the boat up. "Do you even know how to drive a boat?" Mako questioned. "Of course he does. I let him drive before," Varrick said, easing the others' minds. "I just hope he's gotten better." That brought back everyone's nerves. "Hang on," Naruto shouted as he started driving the boat as far away from the South Pole and Eska as possible. The next day. "Ladies and gentlemen, we're nearing Republic City," Naruto announced, giving the heads up to the others. Korra was on deck, but she couldn't help but look up at the deck window to see Naruto still driving with a smile on his face. "Any for your thoughts?" Asami asked as she walked up next to Korra. "I just can't stop thinking about what he did to Unalaq," Korra said. "Yeah, I hear you." The two stared up at Naruto, still in shock at the revelation. To think that there was another airbender in this world. I didn't even think it was possible. I wonder how Tenzin will take it. "Hey ladies, I know I'm interesting and all, but you really should get ready since we're about to hit shore," Naruto said with a smirk. Korra couldn't help but quickly turn away to hide the blush appearing on her cheeks. Asami noticed this, but she didn't know whether to smile at this or frown because of Mako. "I hope you've gotten better at parking this thing," Varrick said. "I feel insulted, Varrick, no one got hurt last time and I only got better at this," Naruto said. Luckily Naruto parked the giant boat with ease, calming everyone's nerves. Once everyone got off, they all met with Chief Bifong. "Welcome home, Avatar." Chief Bifong greeted Korra as she made her way to the group. "Thanks for starting a war." "I didn't start a war," Korra shouted. "Well, I did, but it's not as complicated as you're making it seem." Naruto gulped as he stared at the chief with fear. Naruto started to quietly make his way back to the boat. "Hold it right there," Chief Bifong ordered as she spotted Naruto. Naruto gulped before he turned towards Chief Bifong. "Do I know you?" "I don't know. People say us blondes look alike," Naruto said, shrugging his shoulders. "But not all blondes have whisker-like birthmarks," Chief Bifong said. "Touché," Naruto said with a smirk. "Chief Bifong, please calm down. Naruto helped us back in the South Pole, he can be trusted," Korra said, defending the blonde. "Naruto? The blonde devil," Chief Bifong shouted, making everyone's eyes widen. "That's you, I knew we couldn't trust you," Mako shouted as he got into his firebending stance. "Geez, calm down, no fun, Junior," Naruto said, acting cool. "Wait, what's going on?" Korra asked. "Naruto, the blonde devil wanted in the Earth Nations and Fire Nations for vandalism, extortion, thieving, conning and minor assault, worth 100,000 yuan," Chief Bifong stated Naruto's wanted status. Everyone gasped as they looked Naruto, who looked shocked about the new status on his worth. "The 100,000 yuan," Naruto said with surprise as Mamoru poked his head out of the duffel bag with surprise written all over his face. "Hey Mamo, I thought that other wanted poster said I was worth 10,000 yuan. Mamoru yipped, saying yes it did. "Then how come it went up another zero?" Mamoru just shrugged his shoulders and sounded like he said I don't know in his kid-like way. "Either way, I'm flattered, I mean I'm not worth that much, but it's a real improvement from the last worth on my head," Naruto said with a smirk. "Great, an enthusiastic one," Chief Bifong said with an annoyed look on her face. "How'd it go up?" Naruto asked. "Let me guess, Unalaq," Korra said with an annoyed look on her face. "Yep, the North raised the amount for him after he assaulted their leader," Chief Bifong explained. "Hey, he had it coming. He almost hurt Korra with a ball of ice," Naruto argued. "He's right, Chief Bifong," Mako said. "Yeah, Naruto is a good guy, he was right about Unalaq being a power-hungry tyrant, he saved my father from Unalaq's evil plan to get rid of him, and he saved my life," Korra defended the blonde. "Plus he saved me from marrying a crazy waterbending princess," Bolin added with a grin. "Guys, it's pointless to defend me, the law is the law," Naruto said, being surprisingly calm about all this. "No doubt you wish for me to go with you back to HQ for some interrogation." "I'm afraid so," Chief Bifong said. Naruto sighed with annoyance. "Alright, let's just get this over with," Naruto said, walking towards her. "That's it, you're not going to run?" Varrick questioned with shock. "The daughter of the old chief, Toph Bifong, is right in front of me with a number of officers as backup right behind her, and the only route to escape is to hijack your boat, and there is no way that'll work since they'll swarm me before I can even get to the deck," Naruto explained. "Ought to give it to the kid, he knows how things can go down," Chief Bifong said to Mako, earning a nod in response. "Besides, I don't want to escape," Naruto said with a shrug, surprising everyone including Mamoru. "Why not?" "I mean I want you around since you're cool, but still why not?" Bolin asked. Well, because Naruto blushed as he then glanced at Korra. Of the promise I made to Tanrak to stay by Korra's side. Naruto quickly said. The others may have bought it, but Asami saw Naruto's actions. He's got a crush on Korra. And Korra's starting to like him back. Poor Mako. Asami thought. Well, I'm sorry, but some promise isn't going to keep you out of the law's hands. Lin Bifrong said. I know. Naruto said with a genuine sad look on his face that made Korra feel saddened as well. Wait. Bolin shouted, earning everyone's attention. He's an airbender. What? Lin said with shock as her subordinates looked their way with shock, and Naruto who was the most shocked. Yeah, we saw it for ourselves. Bolin said, but he was then smacked in the back of the head by Naruto. Ow. Would you do that? I didn't want you telling people that. Naruto shouted with a ticked off look on his face. Oh, so you haven't let the cat out of the bag yet? Varrick said. You knew? Mako questioned. Of course I knew. Got to know everything about your friends, partners and clients. Varrick said. So you're also an airbender? Lin questioned. Yeah. Naruto said as he sighed with annoyance. An airbender who's also a criminal. Lin said. Huh, now that you say it out loud it does sound pretty shocking. Mako said. Oh come on, not all airbenders can be nomads, in fact there were some jerks in the past. At least that's what my grandma told me and what my great-grandparents told my dad. Naruto said with a shrug. There are more of you? Chief Bifrong asked. I have the right not to answer that. Naruto said, crossing his arms. Then that means yes, but none of that is my concern, you're the only airbender that matters at this moment. Lin said. Naruto looked at her for a moment before he smirked at her. I like you, you're cool. Naruto said, surprising Korra, Mako, Bolin, Asami and Chief Bifrong with his choice of words. I didn't even think it was possible for someone to call Chief Bifrong cool. Korra thought. Chief Bifrong, since he's one of the only airbenders in the world that isn't related to Avatarong, couldn't Naruto get off the hook this time? Asami asked. I can't give him special treatment, but as long as someone of high reputation and status were willing to look after him, then I'd be fine with that. Chief Bifrong said. Then Tenzin can watch him. Bolin quickly suggested. Who? Naruto asked. He's the only other airbender that is known to exist besides his kids. Asami answered. And he can't because he's all the way at the Southern Air Temple with his family. Korra said. Oh yeah. Bolin said with his shoulders slumped. I can watch him. I've done it before. Varrick suggested with a huge smile. For reasons I cannot explain right now, I believe it's best I don't be under your watch, Varrick, you understand. Naruto said. Yeah, good point. Varrick said. Everyone didn't know what they were talking about, but Mako had a good idea which made him now keep an eye on the two. Oh. Maybe Chief Bifrong can watch him. Bolin suggested again. Bolin, you basically said to send me away with the cops anyway. Naruto said with dull eyes and smirk. Oh sorry. Bolin apologized with his shoulders slumped again. It seemed Naruto was out of options and that he would have to go with Chief Bifrong, but suddenly Korra wrapped her arm around Naruto's, making him turn to her steely gaze. I'll watch him. Korra said with seriousness. Naruto looked at her with some shock, but then smiled at her, feeling grateful to her. Are you sure? Lin asked. Yeah, I mean he said that he'd promised to stay by my side, so I'll be always watching him. Korra said with a smile, making Naruto smile even wider. Alright then, he's all yours. Lin said. Till death do you part. Varrick said with a joking smile. What? Korra and Naruto shouted with their faces turning red and making them separate their arms from each other's. I'm just kidding, a little humor never hurt anybody. Varrick said with a huge grin. Varrick's joke sure made Bolin laugh until he felt pain in his gut. Oh man, that was a good one. Bolin said, but then he noticed the glare from his brother. But it totally would never happen since, you know, Korra is with Mako and all. Bolin said nervously. Yeah, I know she's dating Mr. Personality. Naruto said with a shrug. Yes she is, and quit calling me that. Mako exclaimed as he started walking away. Alright, then how about Scowl Boy? Naruto said as he followed Mako. No fun, Junior Sir, tall, dark and brooding. Oh. Glairmeister. It fits because you always do that. Shut up. Mako yelled. Bolin, Varrick and Korra laughed at Naruto's nicknames for Mako, with Asami giggling and Julie staying silent, but she did think it was funny. Mako. I want you back on the beat. There's going to be a Southern Water Tribe peace march tonight. I need you there to make sure things don't get out of hand. Chief Bifrong said. I'm all yours. Mako said. I'll go too. The people of the South need to see that the Avatar is on their side in the fight against the Northern invaders. Korra said. Great, that should calm them down. Chief Bifrong said sarcastically before leaving. Look at that, 5 minutes here and you're back to the beat. Naruto said with a smirk and his arms crossed. You just better watch yourself, because the minute you slip up and go back to your criminal ways, I'll be there to put the cuffs on you," Mako said with a glare. "Oh, I'm so scared," Naruto said, pretending to look frightened. "Please, cowboy, I can be a good man when I want to be, trust me," Naruto said with a smirk, but that only made Mako glare at him even more. "Scout's honor," Naruto said, doing the Scout's honor pose. "Korra, keep a good eye on this guy," Mako said. "Don't worry, she will. Anyway, when do we get to see the president?" Naruto asked. "You're not seeing the president," Mako said with a glare. "And why not? I have my rights to see him," Naruto argued with his own glare. "You don't as a criminal," Mako argued, leaning in more. "Unless I do one crime in the city, then I do have the right to see him," Naruto argued back as he leaned in more. The two then started glaring at each other fiercely as their foreheads butted together. "Would you two stop fighting?" Korra raised her voice as she pushed the two away from each other. "Well, he started it," Naruto argued as he pointed at Mako accusingly. "I started it," Mako raised his voice as he glared at Naruto. "Yes, you started it. I have the right to see him as long as I don't involve myself in any criminal activities," Naruto said. "He's right, Mako," Asami said. "Not helping," Mako said. "Well, maybe she's not helping you, but she's helped me with the support," Naruto said. "Just watch yourself," Mako said. "I got your girlfriend doing that," Naruto said, making Mako glare at him, no doubting the firebender desire to punch him. "But I'm being serious, I will not do a single crime while I'm here," Naruto said. "Anyway, Varrick, did Julie get an appointment with President Raiko?" "Of course. We'll get him on board," Varrick said with a confident smile. "Whatever, I gotta go to work," Mako said, leaving. "I better go check on my factory," Asami said as she started to leave. "I'm going to find out about this peace march," Korra said as she started leaving with Naga following her. "And I am dying for a pedicure," Varrick said as he poked Julie's nose and starting leaving with Julie following behind. The poor assistant was carrying his luggage the whole time. "So I guess that leaves me and you, Naruto." "Well, me, you and Pabu and Mamoru," Bolin said. "Actually, I was going to follow Korra," Naruto said. "Oh right, the promise and her supposed to be watching you," Bolin said. Yeah, those things," Naruto said, blushing. Bolin looked at the blush and gasped as he knew what that meant. "No way, you've got a crush on Korra," Bolin said with shock. "What? No, I don't," Naruto quickly said. "Yeah, and I'm Mako," Bolin sarcastically said. Naruto sighed, knowing that he was caught. "Okay, fine, maybe I got a bit of a crush on her," Naruto admitted. Mamoru yipped a bit. "Shut your hole, fox," Naruto said, earning himself a raspberry from the fox kit. "Woo. You're lucky Mako isn't here," Bolin said. "Yeah, tell me about it, but you can't blame me, I mean look at her." Naruto motioned to the leaving avatar. "She's hot, strong, confident, sassy and one heck of a hitter. Plus I always did have a thing for a girl with some color," Naruto said as he eyed Korra with a smirk. "Yeah, she's pretty cool, but Mako's my brother and she's his girlfriend, so." "I get it, Bolin, but don't worry, I respect the bro code. Even if I don't consider Mako a bro," Naruto said. "Thanks, Naruto," Bolin said. "But if they break up, don't blame me if I make my move," Naruto said with a smirk before he went after Korra. "Well then I guess it's just you and me, Pabu," Bolin said with his hands in his pocket. "Say kid. Have you ever seen Republic City at night?" Varrick asked as he appeared out of nowhere with his arm wrapped around Bolin's neck. "Sure, I live here, and where did you come from?" "Have you really seen it?" Varrick asked. No," Bolin answered, making Varrick chuckle. "That's what I thought. Come on." Varrick then started dragging Bolin to wherever he was taking him. "With Unalaq. Hanrak and the rebels are holed up here in the hills outside of town," Unalaq's chief officer said. "Leave them, my brother's no threat to us up there," Unalaq said. "Increase security around the spirit portal. Keeping it safe is our #1 priority." "Yes, sir," the chief officer said, bowing to Unalaq with his fist over his heart. He then headed for the door, but when he opened them he was met with Desna and a frightening-looking Eska, who was in a Northern Water Tribe marital gown with her makeup running from the tears. The chief officer was always frightened of the two, in fact everyone was, and he made his way past them and quickly walked as far away from the room, specifically the twins, as possible. Desna and Eska walked into the room to meet with their father. "I need you two to go after the Avatar, she's the only one who can open the Northern Spirit Portal," Unalaq ordered from his children. "But father, you told Korra." "I told Korra what I thought she needed to hear," Unalaq said, interrupting his son. "I'll find her. She stole my husband," Eska said with a dangerous glare. "I need her alive," Unalaq said seriously. Eska sighed with annoyance at this. "Fine. And what of the blonde airbender?" Desna asked. "Simple," Unalaq said with a glare. "Kill him." With Korra and Naruto. You know, you don't have to watch over me like I'm a kid. Korra said to Naruto. What kid? All I see is a beautiful woman. Naruto said with a smirk. Stop that. Korra said. Stop what? Naruto asked. Flirting with me, you know I'm with Mako. Korra said. I would never steal someone's girlfriend, no matter how cool they are. Naruto said. Aha. So you admit that you feel like stealing me? Korra said with a victorious smile and pointing at Naruto. No, I didn't. Naruto said. Yes you did. Korra said. No, I didn't. Yes you did. No, I didn't. Yes you did. No, I didn't. Yes you forget it. Korra said with a tick-defeated look on her face and her arms crossed. You're weird. And you're sexy. Naruto said with a smirk making Korra blush red. Stop that. Korra shouted. Naruto then leaned in close to her with a smirk on his face that made Korra feel nervous and a bit aroused. You can't stop me from speaking the truth. Naruto said. Korra decided to put on a glare to hopefully make him back off. I see it in your eyes. What are you talking about? Korra asked still glaring at him. If it wasn't for Mr. Personality then you would want to kiss me right now. Naruto said shocking Korra and making her blush red. Shut up. Korra shouted as she punched him in the arm. Ow. Sorry, I was just joking. Naruto said rubbing his arm as they continued to walk ahead. Well I wasn't joking about your vanity. Naruto said with a blush, shocking Korra. Would I tell her that? Vanity? Me? Please, does this look like someone who looks good? Korra said not feeling confident in her looks. Well to me, of course. Naruto said, shocking Korra again making her blush red. I mean personally I don't like girly girls or daffodils, I like girls who hit hard and got a strong confident and sassy personality. Is that so? Korra said blushing even more. Yeah, I mean you're awesome. And you're the most beautiful girl I've ever seen. Naruto said making Korra stop and turn to him as she blushed even redder. So you like me only for my looks? No, that's just jumping to conclusions. What I'm saying is I think you're the most beautiful girl I've ever seen, but I don't just think that your looks are beautiful, but I also think that your personality and everything else on the inside of you is beautiful. Naruto said genuinely as he stared at Korra with his dazzling cerulean eyes. Korra couldn't help but blush as she stared into Naruto's eyes. Korra stepped back a bit only to get poked in the back by something sharp. Ow. Are you okay? Naruto asked. Yeah, I am. Whoa. Korra had just noticed that she was poked by a love arrow of a conveniently placed Cupid statue. What? Is something wrong? Naruto asked. No, everything's fine. Korra said standing in front of the Cupid statue, last thing she wants is for Naruto to see what poked her just for material to tease her with. So you really think that way? Korra asked. From the moment I saw you. Naruto said with all honesty making Korra blush. The two stared at each other, then started leaning in, but they were broken out of their trances when Naga barked at something ahead. The blonde devil and Avatar turned to see the Water Tribe peace marchers. There they are. Korra said as she made her way towards her fellow tribesmen. Naruto looked at Naga and patted her head. But dog, you probably saved us from having a big spout and mostly me from most likely having Mako go bad cop on me. Naruto said earning a bark and lick from Naga in response. Mamoru then yipped at Naruto. I don't know what happened, it's like my brain jacked my mouth and spoke everything I was thinking. Naruto said to the fox kid. This has never happened before. Naruto then noticed the smirk on Mamoru's face. What? Mamoru just yipped something innocently. No way, that face says nothing. Naruto said as he started walking towards the southern water tribesmen with Naga following behind. Come on Naga. Korra said as her polar bear dog made her way towards her. Korra jumped on top of Naga and offered Naruto her hand. This isn't my job, water princess. They need you, not me. Naruto said making Korra smiled understandingly. Naruto understood her and said what she needed to hear, something Mako hadn't really been doing for a while now. Well he has, but he wasn't really that good at it. Korra then started leading the Southern Water Tribe peace march, with Naruto staying on the sidewalk and keeping a close yet spacious distance from her. Later that night. The Southern Water Tribe peace march was still going on into the night. The media was reporting on the event mentioning Korra leading the pack. Naruto continued to keep a good distance between him and Korra as he walked along the sidewalk. People kept on booing Korra because they all saw she wasn't helping them with their current crisis. Naruto just couldn't help but glare at the people booing Korra, it just didn't sit well with him. Idiots, like they would know what to do in her situation. Staying neutral and trying to obtain peace isn't an easy thing, not just for one person, but even for the whole world. Naruto thought. You stink. A water tribesman yelled as he threw fruit at Korra, hitting her hard in the head as it bounced off of her head. Naruto's eyes widened with anger as they then narrowed with anger as the blonde then suddenly elbowed the guy in the crick of his neck, knocking him out and fall to the floor. Everyone gasped as they looked at the fallen man, with some of them looking at Naruto as the blonde who had his hands in his pocket and a serious look on his face as the whisker-marked young man walked away. As Naruto was walking, he saw a poor mother with her child begging. Naruto stopped in front the two, making the child, a young boy, hide behind his mother. Naruto grabbed his bag and dug his hand into it and pulled out 500,000 yuan and gave it to the mother before walking away. The mother looked at the money with shock as she then smiled and cried tears of joy. "Thank you." The mother called out to Naruto as the blonde waved back at her. Korra saw the whole thing and couldn't help but smile at Naruto for what he did. He's sweet, he's there for others, including those he doesn't even know. "You're a good man, Naruto, who cares what those posters say?" Korra thought with a smile. With Mako. Mako was patrolling the area when he heard the sound of a can being crushed, making him turn to see two guys in red running around the corner. "Hey! Stop! Republic City Police!" Mako shouted as he started chasing after them. One of them turned around with a trigger in his hand and pressed the trigger button. Suddenly the building close to them exploded. Fire headed straight for Mako, but the firebender used his firebending skills to push it away from him, saving him from getting burned. At the peace march. Buildings exploded from inside of them, making everyone look at them with shock. "Oh, this can't be good," Naruto thought. "How is any of this good?" Naruto looked around with shock and confusion. "What the hell? Did someone say something to me?" With Mako. Mako chased down the bombers and started using his firebending against them, but a firebender of the group batted the fire away. However, Mako got a good hit on him, making the firebender fall to the floor, dropping the trigger. The firebender quickly made his way to the getaway car as the bombers then drove away. Mako grabbed the triggering device and examined it. What in the world were their intentions? Mako thought. At the peace march. Korra used her waterbending skills to try and extinguish the fire that was engulfing the building as Mako ran up to her. "The Northern Water Tribe is out of control," Korra said to Mako. "I saw a firebender running away from the blast. The North might not be responsible for this," Mako said. "Of course they're responsible, who else would it be?" Korra retorted. As the fire engines came, Naruto quickly made his way to the two. "Do you know anything about this?" Mako asked the blonde. "It's always best to ask a criminal who was on your side, especially when you can tell when they lie like Mako can." Naruto looked up at the fire and cupped his own chin as he thought of what was the reason for this. "Maybe, but it's just a hunch," Naruto said. Naruto noticed a little girl near the burning building, scared and alone. She was probably separated from her mother as the crowd had ran away. Suddenly an explosion came from the building with the fire heading straight for the little girl. Naruto quickly gave Mako his bag and used his airbending skills to send wind to his feet and run straight at the girl with incredible speed, and as he stopped in front of the little girl and sent his arms up high into the air, using his amazing airbending skills to create a giant plume of air that sent the fire straight into the air. Once they were safe, Naruto turned to the girl and checked if she was okay. "Hey, kid, where's your mother?" Naruto asked. "My dolly," the little girl said as she saw her doll on the floor. As she tried to grab it, another explosion occurred, making Naruto grab the girl and use his airbending skills to jump a great distance away from the explosion, saving him and the little girl from the explosion. Everyone looked at Naruto with shock as he floated close to the group of Southern Water Tribe members. Sarah, the mother of the little girl, ran towards Naruto and her daughter as they landed. "Mommy." The little girl ran towards her mother and gave her a big hug that was gladly returned. "I'm so glad you're okay," the mother said as she cried tears of joy. "But mommy, my dolly," the girl then heard a whistling sound, making her turn around to see Naruto holding her doll in his hands. "Mrs. Pretty." The girl exclaimed her doll's name with joy as Naruto walked up to her and gave the little girl her doll. "Thank you, mister," the girl said, hugging her doll close. "No problem, kid," Naruto said. "We don't have enough hands here," a firefighter shouted. Naruto turned to see that the firefighters were having trouble with the hoses, since half of them were assisting getting injured civilians away from the fire, leaving the other half to man what hoses they can hold. Naruto looked around to see that the cameras around the area were staring at him, with the people holding the cameras had shocked looks on their faces as they stared at Naruto. "Well, the secret's out anyway," Naruto said as he rushed towards the fire engines. "We're having too much trouble here," a firefighter shouted. "This sucks," another shouted. Suddenly the hoses started to rise on their own. "What's going on?" "Airbending at its finest," Naruto shouted. Everyone looked at Naruto with shock as he controlled those hoses with his airbending. "I'm going to need you guys to hold these bad boys though, I mean I can't do everything on my own," Naruto said. The firefighters quickly got out of their shock and went to assist Naruto. Korra and Mako stared at Naruto in shock and amazement. "I don't believe it," Mako said. "He's incredible," Korra said. "Hey, Water Princess, I'm flattered, but I can't be the only bender here," Naruto said, making Korra blush red from embarrassment. And besides, Skullboy's right there. That comment made Mako glare at Naruto. With Korra and Naruto's help, the firefighters had extinguished all the fires covering the building. Once it was all done, Naruto made his way towards Korra and Mako. Well, this was an interesting peace march. Naruto said sarcastically, earning himself annoyed glares from Korra and Mako. Oh, sorry for thinking positively. Naruto said with an annoyed look on his face and his arms crossed. Look, everyone's alive, Korra's earned some respect from assisting in ending the fire, and now we might have just what we need to convince President Raiko to help out the cause. Naruto said. Naruto, I know you're just trying to make the best of a bad situation, but… Korra. Naruto said her name as he placed his hand on her shoulder, making her look at him. Just smile. Naruto said with his own smile shocking her. I don't like seeing you this way. So smile. Naruto said, still smiling. Korra looked at him with surprise before she smiled at him with a blush. Mako looked at the two with shock and was now feeling jealousy and worry rise within him. Uh-oh. Naruto said as he noticed reporters and the paparazzi quickly make their way towards them. Well, I'm gone. Naruto said as he was about to leave, but Korra grabbed his arm. Oh no you don't, I'm supposed to be watching you. Korra said. Please let me go, the last thing I need is the paparazzi on me. Naruto begged. On you for what? You just helped save some lives. Korra said. Yeah, with airbending, like that isn't going to earn me some questions. I got to go. Too late. Mako said. The paparazzi then swarmed the three and started asking Naruto a bunch of questions. Who are you? What is your name? How skilled are you with airbending? If you're an airbender, how come you haven't come out to the public before? Are you in any way related to Avatar Aang and his descendants? Are there more like you in the world besides Tenzin and his family? Naruto was trying to find a way out of this situation, the last thing he needs is the media on him. I'd love to answer your questions, but Avatar Korra and I have to see President Raiko. Naruto said as he grabbed his bag from Mako and started dragging Korra away. Our appointment isn't until tomorrow. Korra said. Speak a little louder, I don't think they heard you. Naruto said sarcastically. Naruto then whistled, making Naga run up to them. Naruto picked up Korra bridal style and threw her on top of Naga and then jumped up on her as well. Let's go girl. Naruto said, earning a bark from Naga. Naga then started to leave with the paparazzi still taking pictures and asking questions before the polar bear dog and her riders left. Mako just looked on as his girlfriend left with the young blonde delinquent, hoping that Naruto wouldn't try anything with Korra. Okay, where are you taking me? Korra asked. Hey, you're the one driving. Naruto said with a smirk, earning him a punch in the arm. Ow. Okay, I deserved that. Naruto said. Anyway, where are we going? Korra asked. Naruto put on his thinking face before he smiled. Wanna get some ramen? Naruto asked. Korra just grinned before she steered Naga towards the noodle place. Later at the ramen shop. Boy, may I have another, please? Naruto asked. Korra looked at Naruto with shock, the blonde had just finished his 12th bowl and now was eating his 13th. Naruto was slurping up his noodles but stopped halfway as he noticed Korra's shocked look. Naruto blinked his eyes at her and said, what? Oh, it's nothing, it's just, well, you're on your 13th bowl, Korra said as Naruto slurped up the rest of his noodles. And? You started your first one 3 minutes ago. Korra said. I'm a man who loves ramen, I mean who doesn't? Naruto said with a proud grin. Well, I sure do, but seriously, you eat like your life depended on it. Korra said with a smirk. It can't be helped for me. Naruto said as he ate his bowl. So, you and Skullboy. Gotta tell ya, I did not expect that when Bolin told me. Yeah, well, he cares for me and I care for him. Korra said, but Naruto noticed a little doubt in her voice. Something up? Naruto asked. What? No, we're fine, we haven't been fighting. Korra said. You know it doesn't take a criminal genius like me to know when someone is lying. Naruto said. Korra sighed in defeat. Fine, you win. Mako and I have had a few rough patches in our lives at the moment. Korra said. Is that so? Naruto said as he finished off his bowl and earned another. Have you decided on talking about it? I'm telling you. I mean to him, plus I'm not a couples counselor. Naruto said. Oh well, I don't think that'll happen. Korra said. Then end it. Naruto said as he slurped some noodles. What? Korra exclaimed with shock. Have you guys been fighting more than you have been showing each other love? Naruto asked. No. Well, I mean, well, yes. Korra said, sighing with defeat. And you two have been trying to find the bright side of your relationship? Naruto asked. No. Then unless the both of you give it time and patience and try to work it out, then it won't work. Naruto said, finishing his bowl. Do you think we'll work it out? Korra asked. I can't answer that, Korra, the answer lies on the path that you and Mako decide to take. Naruto said. Korra just looked at her bowl of ramen with sad eyes. Naruto didn't want to see Korra like this, so he decided to take her somewhere else. Hey, you look like you could use a soda float. Naruto said with a smirk. You really think that'll make me happy? Korra asked. Actually, I think how we're getting to the place that sells them is going to bring you joy. Naruto said as he paid for his bowls and Korra's. Naruto grabbed Korra's hand and took her outside where they met Naga and Mamoru. Naruto grabbed his bag and tied it on Naga's saddle and put Mamoru inside it. Try to keep up, Naga. Naruto said, earning confused looks from the two animals and Korra. Naruto picked Korra up bridal style and shot into the sky and started flying in the direction of the shop with Naga running after the two. Korra was screaming as she wrapped her arms tightly around Naruto's neck. Don't worry, I won't let you fall. Naruto said. Korra looked up and found herself staring into his shimmering cerulean eyes as he smiled at her. I promise. Naruto said. Korra couldn't help but smile at him. Korra looked down and saw the whole city and was amazed at how beautiful it looked and how high they were. Wow, it's beautiful. Yeah, cities always do at this height. Naruto said. Korra continued to look at the city, but then looked up at Naruto, who was looking straight ahead and saw he looked handsome in the moonlight. After a lengthy trip, Naruto flew down towards the shop and gently landed on his own 2 feet and let Korra down as Naga made her way towards them. That was amazing. I can't believe how incredible your bending is. Korra said with amazement. Yeah, pretty amazing. Naruto said, shrugging his shoulders. Well, let's get us some soda floats. Naruto said as he and Korra walked inside the restaurant. The two later enjoyed some soda floats, but then Naruto suddenly burped. Sorry, I know that was rude. Naruto apologized with a blush, but then suddenly Korra burped. But that was awesome. Naruto said with a smile, making Korra blush. Beat this. Naruto made a big belch. Korra smirked and then made a huge and loud belch. Naruto smirked at her before breathing in and letting out a great burp that echoed throughout the entire room and shook their soda float glasses. Naruto and Korra looked at each other and started to laugh while everyone looked at them with disgust. After Naruto paid for their drinks, the two left and Naruto jumped on Naga. Wait, you're driving, Naga? Korra questioned with a raised eyebrow. Driving's for cars. I'd say I'm more along the lines of leading Naga-chan. Naruto said, scratching Naga behind the ears. Naga-chan? What does chan mean? Korra asked. I don't know. I just use that at the end of the name of girls that I like. It's basically like an honorific that displays familiarity, you know. Naruto explained. Korra blinked at Naruto with surprise. You're smarter than you look. Korra said. Whatever, just hop on. Naruto said. Korra just shrugged and jumped onto Naga, sitting behind Naruto. Naruto then started to lead Naga towards their next destination. So, where are you leading Naga then? Korra asked. You'll see. Naruto said, smirking. Later, at the park. Naruto had stopped Naga near the small lake in the park. What are we doing here? Korra asked. Naruto jumped off of Naga and extended his hand towards Korra. I'll show you. Naruto said. Korra took Naruto's hand as he helped her down from Naga and took her closer to the small lake. So what now? Korra asked. Let me ask you a question. Naruto said, looking at her. Korra looked at him with a raised eyebrow. Have you ever danced on air before? Naruto asked. Huh? Korra asked. Naruto then grabbed Korra by the waist and jumped straight towards the lake, making her scream a bit, but then they started floating a little over the lake. You jerk. You scared me. Korra said with a glare. Sorry, but you got to admit, this is something else to you, isn't it? Naruto said with a smirk, making Korra smile. Naruto grabbed Korra's hand and started moving himself and her in calming swing motions with his airbending. Korra giggled as she and Naruto danced a little over the water. Having fun? Naruto asked, earning a nod from Korra in response. Yeah, but why the park? Korra asked. It's a nice place to take someone. Naruto said. Korra couldn't disagree with that logic. You really know how to show someone a good time. Korra said. I aim to please. Naruto said, shrugging his shoulder. So have you ever shown others girls a good time like this? Korra asked. Why are you asking? Naruto asked with a smirk. Well, it's just. Never mind. Korra said, making Naruto chuckle. Korra blushed at Naruto's chuckling, so she kicked his ankle. Ow. You're mean sometimes, you know that. Naruto said. Well, sorry if I don't like your responses. Korra said, narrowing her eyes at him. It's just a joke. Naruto said with a smile. Korra looked away from Naruto's eyes. I don't blame you, you know. Naruto said. And why's that? Korra asked. Sometimes being a mediator's a pain. Naruto said, shrugging his shoulders. And how would you know? Korra asked. Naruto then had a thinking look on his face. I don't know. For some reason I kind of understand. I mean dealing with people at odds with each other, especially at a time of war, isn't something easy to deal with. Naruto said. You don't understand what exactly I have to go through. Korra said. Well, maybe I don't have to. I just know that it's complicated. Naruto said. You don't think I can do it? Korra questioned. I'm not saying that. I have full trust in you, Korra, but sometimes it's okay to ask for a little help. Naruto said. What's that supposed to mean? Korra asked. It means that I'm trying to tell you that I'm here for you whenever you need me, so don't hesitate. Naruto said with a smile. Korra blushed at Naruto's words. She was shocked that he had so much faith in her and that she now had him by her side when she needed help. Korra and Naruto started leaning closer to each other, but then Naga barked, bringing them back to reality. You ready to go? Naruto asked. Korra nodded in response. Naruto then brought both him and Korra next to Naga. Naruto and Korra then looked up at the full moon with smiles on their faces. Beautiful, isn't it? Korra said. Yeah. Naruto said. After a few moments passed, Korra looked at Naruto with a raised eyebrow. Something I can help you with? Naruto asked. It's just I expected you to say but it's not as beautiful as you or something. Korra said. Well, I thought it, but I didn't know that you wanted me to say it out loud. Naruto said with a smirk. Well, no, I didn't, I mean I just thought that maybe. Oh, so you want me to be a little cheesy? Naruto said, still smirking as he crossed his arms. Just hop on, Naga. Korra said as she jumped on top of her best friend with Naruto in tow. I think we can call it a night. Korra said as Naga started to leave. It's been a nice one, right? Naruto asked with a smile. Well, minus the fact a building blew up, yeah, it's been nice. Korra said with a blush as she smiled. So Water Princess, you know where Mamoru and I can sleep for the night? Naruto asked. You can bunk with me. Korra said. Whoa, Water Princess, I like your forwardness, but maybe we should slow down a bit. Naruto said with a smirk. Oh, shut up. I meant that you could come with me to Air Temple Island. They have spare rooms there. Korra said. What's the rent? Naruto asked. It's free. I'll take it. Naruto said with a smile, making Korra smile. The next day, at City Hall. Naruto, Korra and Varrick made their way up the steps of City Hall. So you went easy on Bolin, right? Naruto asked Varrick. Oh, don't worry, the kid's a natural. In fact, I think I just found his true calling. Varrick said. What's that? Can we please focus, Korra ordered. Korra then sighed as they reached the top of the steps. I hope President Raiko will listen to us. Korra said. Don't worry. I was a big contributor to his election campaign. Varrick said. Well, him and the other guy. Got to head your bets. As the three were about to head inside, Korra stopped Naruto. Maybe it's best if you stay here. Korra said. What? Will I be a stepping stone in your path? Naruto questioned. No. Then no worries. Besides, I helped this city last night, so I think the president will be fine with me in his office, as long as you're there. Naruto said. The kid's right. Now let's go. Varrick said as he started pushing the two teens inside. Inside the president's office. Korra, Naruto and Varrick made it into President Raiko's office to be met by him and his aides. Hello, Mr. President. Korra greeted President Raiko as the two then walked towards each other and shook hands. Sir, the Southern Water Tribe. Just a second. Keep smiling. President Raiko said as he and Korra looked towards the camera, with the latter feeling a bit confused and uncomfortable, but Varrick then pressed his finger at a certain spot on Korra's back, making her develop a huge toothy grin as the camera took a picture with a flash. You have got to teach me that move. Naruto said. Varrick smirked at Naruto's request. The group of four then sat down with Raiko sitting in across from Korra and Naruto and Varrick sitting on a couch beside the two. Now. How can I help the Avatar and my most generous supporter and of course, the newly made hero, the blonde devil? Raiko said. I see you recognized me. Naruto said with a nervous grin as he scratched the back of his head. Well, to be fair, I've never heard of someone with whisker-like birthmarks like yours before. Raiko said. Fair enough. Sir, Unalaq's troops have invaded the south. We need you to send the United Forces to help. Korra said, getting straight to the point. That's it. No clever wordplay. Guess I'm going to need to step in again. Naruto thought. I'm very concerned by what's happening down there, but I don't think it's the Republic's place to interfere with internal Water Tribe manners. Raiko said. Unalaq isn't even the rightful ruler of the Water Tribe. He lied his way onto the northern throne. Korra argued. Mr. President, the Republic is already involved in this conflict. The North attacked our cultural center last night. Varrick added. Believe me, we are doing everything we can to bring the people responsible to justice. Raiko said. The people responsible? Who else would it be but the Northerners? Korra argued. Well, a couple of people, like the triads, extremists and racists. Naruto said. Naruto. Not helping. Korra said, narrowing her eyes at the blonde. I apologize, but if I could step in. I think we're going about this all wrong. We're talking about what to next, but we're not talking about what's happening in the city. Naruto said, making everyone look at him with confusion. Look, we can go about saying who did it and negotiate on what to do, but we're forgetting about the people. Varrick was right about the conflict reaching Republic City, but it wasn't started by the damage done to the cultural center. We have people who immigrated from both the North and South tribes here, along with those of North and South descent, so we already had conflict here to start with. Now that the cultural center has been attacked, everyone's suspicions lie upon the North, which will increase conflicts, including riots, which would not only look bad for the city and rest of the population, but also on you, President Raiko. Naruto explained. The kid's right, Mr. President. Varrick agreed. Varrick felt very proud of Naruto for his smart response. I see what you're doing, blonde devil, but I just can't send in troops to assist the South. It will make the North think I am favoring the South over them. Raiko argued. True, but doing nothing to assist anyone will earn you even more negative opinions from both tribes. Naruto said. Raiko hated to admit it, but Naruto was right. Now, I'm not saying that you should send in the troops, but no one said delivering supplies would get people to feel distasteful toward you. The North is already supplied, but the South is a different story. The North had already taken their supplies before the war even started. Supplying them will earn you credibility with the South, and the North will not see it as much of a threat. Naruto said. True, but what do you think I should supply them with? Raiko asked. Well, food and other provisions for one. In fact, Varrick has been developing a new line of camo gear. Naruto said. I have. Perfect for snowy weather. Varrick said. I see. Alright, I understand and agree. Alright, I'll assist the South in supplying them with the necessities. Raiko agreed. That's all we wanted, Mr. President. Naruto said with a bow. Korra stared at Naruto with shock at how good he was in negotiation. I shall also work with Unalaq for a diplomatic solution. Raiko said. Understood, Mr. President, that will help with earning some of the trust with the North as well. Naruto said. This meeting is over. Raiko said as he stood up. Naruto, Korra and Varrick then left the office and headed outside the building. Mr. President, do you mind if I ask you a little bit of a personal favor? Naruto said. I shall pardon you for your past crimes. Raiko said. Thank you, Mr. President. Naruto thanked the president with a bow as he left with Korra and Varrick. Well, that went way better than I expected. Naruto said. Varrick then suddenly wrapped his arm around Naruto's neck as he patted him on the shoulder. Naruto, my boy, you just not only helped the South, but my business as well. I could just adopt you. Varrick said with a grin. I just still wish that we could send troops to the South to help. Korra said, still not feeling satisfied. Well, you can't think of everything as a fight. You got to take baby steps. Naruto said. I mean, I want to see your uncle lose too, Korra, but we need to take time and think things over. It's not easy to persuade people, even when they're on your side. The kid's right, and at least the South will get something out of this. Varrick agreed. I guess you guys are right. Korra said. The three then made it outside of the building. I'm going to go see Mako. Alright. Tell no fun, Junior. I said hi. Naruto said. Korra put a hand over her mouth as she giggled. She then hugged Naruto, surprising her. Thank you. Korra thanked the blonde. Naruto smiled and returned the hug. No problem. Naruto said. Korra then separated from him and left, leaving Naruto and Varrick alone. Naruto watched her retreating form as then Varrick suddenly nudged Naruto's arm as he had a grin on his face. Not bad, Romeo. Varrick said. What? She's with Mr. Personality, remember? Naruto said. Yes, but if you ask me, they're on a trip to Splitsville, so you just might get your dream girl after all. You just need to hang in there. No, come on. Varrick said as he started leading Naruto to his ship. Later, at Varrick's ship. So we'll still be helping the South even though we're not sending troops to them. Bolin said. Ought to take it slow, you know. Naruto said. And Korra's okay with this? Bolin asked. From what I can tell, yes and no. She's happy that we're sending supplies, but she's impatient and worried about not sending the United Forces to assist her people, and I can see why, since the last thing anyone wants is to see their kind hurt even when they're supposed to be the neutral mediator. She'll probably be soon to tell us about not waiting any longer and to send the troops out now, Naruto said. You should listen to the kid, he knows how everyone thinks just by looking them in the eye. It's spooky. Varrick, who was blindfolded, said as he was about to fire an arrow from his bow. As he shot the arrow, it sped towards the target, only for it to almost hit Asami, who was coming up to the beat pit with Korra. Lucky for her, Korra pulled her away from the arrow's range, and lucky for Varrick, he hit the target, not on the bull's eye, but it didn't really matter to him. Varrick took off his blindfold and saw Asami and Korra looking at him. Oh hello. Varrick greeted them before turning to Bolin. See. I told you I can do it. Varrick said. Sorry I ever doubted you. Bolin said. Yeah, but not completely I bet. Naruto thought as he looked at the other arrows scattered near the target that missed their mark. We can't wait for the president to act. We need those troops now. Korra said with a serious look. See, I told ya. Naruto said with a smirk. You know her so well. Bolin said. Korra just raised an eyebrow in confusion at what the two were talking about. Anyway, I have my own problems as well, my company's about to go under. I need to find a way to make some sales. Asami said. I'll get the peppers. Naruto said walking off with Zhu Li, who had Varrick's bow in her hands. Korra and Asami were confused at this. What the kid means is that he's getting the essentials along with Zhu Li for me to enter my idea storm. Varrick said. Don't ask, just watch. Naruto said as he brought over a plate of red peppers with Zhu Li, bringing in a pull-up set and something to tie Varrick to the pole. You're about to get an inside look at how Varrick Industry stays at the forefront of imagination, innovation or imagavation. That's trademarked, pal. Varrick said. Naruto just extended the plate to Varrick, who grabbed one of the peppers. Brain work requires increased circulation. Varrick said as he ate the pepper, making his entire face turn red. Let's do this. Varrick shouted. Once Zhu Li wrapped ankle harnesses to Varrick's ankles, Varrick jumped onto the pull-up bar and clipped his harness to the bar as he then hung upside down. Okay, here come the ideas. Varrick said as Zhu Li prepared to write them down. Fast and furious. Pink. Mint. Lemon. Tea. Radio for pets. Hand shoes. Varrick said multiple random words as half of his face turned red from the blood rushing to it. Hold on a tick. We don't need the president to go to the south. We just need the troops. Let's go straight to them. If there's one thing I know about troops, it's that they love fighting. Fighting is fun. Naruto said with a sly smile as he scratched his chin, remembering all the fights he had gotten into in the past. I know General Iroh. He'll be willing to help us. Korra said. A man on the inside, perfect. And you need to sell some mecha tanks. I know some people who need them. We'll ship them south. Perfect. You'll be making money for your company and you'll be helping to defeat Unalaq. Korra said with a smile. It's true. If you can't make money during a war, you just can't flat out make money. Varrick said. It's dangerous on the seas right now, but I'm willing to try if you are. Asami said with a smile. It'll be crazy risky, but I love crazy risky. Varrick said with a huge smile. You're not the only one. Naruto said with a smirk. And storm. Varrick exclaimed as he flipped off the bar and landed perfectly on his feet like a cat. Zhu Li, get those ideas to research and development. I want prototypes by next week. Varrick ordered as Zhu Li nodded and left. I don't understand why it's so hard to get Republic City to support the South. Korra said. Well, that's an easy one. It's called the United Republic. All ethnicity from all nations come here and unite as one. If there's any sign of favoritism, then that'll cause some problems within the city. You're not the only one who is supposed to be expected to remain neutral, Korra. Naruto said. I guess you're right. Korra said. Either way, you don't have to worry about that. I'm already working on that. As soon as people see this. Varrick said, gesturing to his mover. A movie projector? Naruto questioned with a raised eyebrow. A movie projector, I like it. It sounds way better than a mover. Varrick said with a huge grin. How'd you come up with that? Asami asked as she, Korra and Bolin looked at him. Naruto cupped his chin as he thought about it. I don't know, it just came to me. Naruto said, shrugging his shoulders. Anyway, with this movie projector, I'm already liking the name. People will be lining up to fight Unalaq. Zhu Li. Do the thing. Varrick said. Zhu Li then turned the projector on to show a movie of Northern Water Tribe soldiers. Korra stared at it with surprise, while Naruto raised an eyebrow to it. Don't freak out, it's not real. Bolin said to the two. I had a fill crew document the entire northern invasion. Varrick said as they all watched the movie. Smart Varrick. Naruto complimented with a smile. I know. Varrick said with a smug smile as he crossed his arms. Suddenly an image of Asuka looking at the film crew in confusion scared the living daylights out of Bolin and Naruto. No. Bolin screamed as he covered his line of sight from the picture, while Naruto flinched as he gritted his teeth in disgust. Sorry, I keep doing that. Bolin said, feeling like a fool. And now I'm scarred for life. Naruto said with a tired expression. We're going to cut this footage together with scenes of our superstar Bolin here, who'll be playing a Southern Water Tribe hero, battling the evil Unalaq. Nobody will root for the North after they see the adventures of Nuktik, hero of the South. Varrick said, gesturing to Bolin, who went into a heroic pose as he flexed his biceps. I'm Nuktik. What do you think? Bolin said. Just don't forget your friends, family and the little people. Naruto said with a dull look. At the Southern Air Temple. Tenzin was busy trying to teach his son on how to tame and train a lemur, but Milo loved the little creature too much, as he awarded him for not obeying him. "Hey Tenzin. We got mail." Yumi shouted. Mail. Come on Pokey. Milo said as he and his pet lemur Pokey headed towards the rest of the family with Tenzin in tow. "What's the message say?" Tenzin asked. "Let's see, it's from Republic City." Yumi then suddenly gasped, alarming everyone. Oh no, this is awful." "What is it?" Kaya asked. "They misspelled air in Southern Air Temple. That's pretty sloppy if you ask me." Yumi said. "Forget about the typo and just read the message Yumi." Tenzin said. "Let's see. Dear Southern Air Temple, we feel that we needed to inform you that at the incident of the Cultural Center attack, we have discovered, oh my goodness, they misspelled air twice. Would you please ignore the typos?" Tenzin said. "Sorry. Anyway, it says something about a new airbender, they even sent pictures." Yumi said, holding the letter in one hand and pictures in the other. "What?" Tenzin said with shock as he grabbed the letter. "Look, here are the pictures. Although he doesn't look like your regular airbender. They said he was a criminal named Naruto the Blonde Devil, but he was officially pardoned after a meeting with the president of Republic City, and he's friends with Korra, so he's on our side." Yumi said as he showed everyone pictures of a blonde using airbending, helping with the incident, and a few with Korra. "I don't believe it." Tenzin said with shock as he stared at Naruto's picture. "He's kind of cute." Jinora said, making everyone look at her. I mean, he looks kind of suspicious." "I call dibs." Ikki said as she then narrowed her eyes at Jinora, who looked at her dully. "Oh dear." Tenzin said as he sighed. Although Tenzin proceeded to look at a picture of Naruto and Korra. "To think that there could be more airbenders out there besides us. You shouldn't get your hopes up, Tenzin. Yumi just said that he was a criminal, so you should be wary." Kaya said. "Yes, I know, but it seems that he is well acquainted with Korra, so there might not be much to worry about." Tenzin said, looking at the pictures. Later, on General Iroh's boat. Naruto and Korra traveled to General Iroh's boat. "You know you don't have to follow me everywhere," Korra said. "I made a promise and I'm not going back on it," Naruto said. "Besides, hanging out with Varrick for too long can affect a man negatively." "Glad to see you don't worship him so strongly," Korra teased with a smirk. "I don't worship him, I respect him," Naruto said with a small glare. After finding the ship, Korra and Naruto traveled up to its main deck to meet General Iroh. "Korra, hello, and I see you brought the new airbender," Iroh said. Naruto introduced himself as he extended his hand. "It's nice to officially meet you, Blonde Devil," Iroh said with a smile. "So you know who I am. May I ask why you are okay with me being in your presence?" Naruto asked. "You helped saved lives, and it seems you are well acquainted with Avatar Korra, so I have nothing to fear," Iroh said. "How can anyone fear someone who looks like him?" Korra teased with a smirk as she crossed her arms. "Hey. I can be menacing when I want to be," Naruto argued. "Thank you for seeing me, General Iroh." Korra thanked the general. Naruto glared at her for ignoring him. "What can I do?" Iroha asked with a smile. "The South needs military support before Unalaq wipes them out completely, but the president is refusing to give the order. So I decided to come to you directly," Korra said. General Iroh then cupped his chin as he was in a thinking pose. "I see. Well, suppose I were to take the fleet south on some routine training maneuvers, and let's say we were to accidentally run into a hostile northern blockade. We would have no choice but to defend ourselves," Iroh said. "I guess you wouldn't," Korra said with a smile. "It is the liberty of everyone to defend themselves," Naruto said. Naruto then smelled something familiar. "Oh. What's wrong?" Korra asked, turning to the blonde. "We got company," Naruto said as he turned to the door, making Korra and Iroh turn to see President Raiko. "Uh-oh," Korra said quietly. "Swapping old war stories," Raiko said as he made his way to them. "Mr. President." Iroh greeted his superior with a salute. "I hope you're not planning to take military action without an order from your commander-in-chief," Raiko said with a stern look. "Of course not, sir," Iroh said. "Good, because if a single vessel leaves this harbor without my say-so you'll be court-martialed. Am I clear?" Raiko threatened. "Crystal, sir," Iroh said. "Can't you say something that'll convince him otherwise?" Korra whispered to Naruto. "Sadly no, the best I could do is stay silent since he would most likely threaten to erase my pardon. I'm afraid I can't say anything at this point," Naruto whispered back. "Your activities here are bordering on insurrection. The Avatar does not command the military of the Republic. Don't go behind my back again," Raiko said to Korra with his stern look. Korra was miffed as she placed her hands on her hips. "And you, Blonde Devil, you. Hey, leave him out of this. He had nothing to do with this, it was all my idea, so don't go accusing Naruto," He's just here because he has to stand by my side, so don't go blaming him. Korra said with a stern look on her face and a steely gaze. Naruto blushed that Korra had just defended her. Raiko just responded as he turned towards Iroh. As you were General Iroh. Raiko then left with his aides with Korra glaring at his back. I hate that guy. Korra shouted. Now you know why I dislike authority. Naruto said with an annoyed look on his face. Sorry, my hands are officially tied. Iroh said. Don't worry about, we'll still find a way to beat Unalaq, even if we have to go against the law. Naruto said with a grin as he punched his palm with excitement. No, bad Naruto, we're not doing that. Korra said. Just say no next time. I'm not a dog. Naruto said with a dull look. But you should talk to the Fire Lord. My mother and grandfather have always been good friends to the Avatar and the Southern Water Tribe. I'm sure they'll be willing to help. Iroh said with a hopeful smile. Thank you, General. Korra thanked the general. She then noticed Naruto was rubbing his chin as he had a thinking expression on his face. What's wrong? I'm just wondering who snitched on us. I mean, the president couldn't have just came strolling along and visit the general here without knowing what's up. I mean, he didn't look surprised to see you here, so he knew what we were up to. Naruto said. He's got a point. Iroh said. The only thing I don't understand is who would snitch on us. The only ones who knew about it were Bolin, Asami, Varrick and Julie. Bolin and Asami wouldn't rat out Korra because they're her good friends and they wouldn't go behind her back. Varrick wouldn't say a thing since he wants the same thing Korra wants, but with his main desire being to profit from it, and Julie wouldn't because she's Varrick's assistant and wouldn't go behind his back, plus you couldn't even get her to talk unless you threatened Varrick's life. Naruto said. Then who else would have known about your plan? Iroh wondered. Naruto then noticed the look of shock on Korra's face that turned into anger as she went to the door, opened it, and when she went through it, she slammed the door behind her. I think Korra just found out. Naruto said. At a studio. Wouldn't I be cold wearing this outfit in the snow? Bolin asked, referring to his outfit for the movie, which was light blue shorts with fur lining, boots with fur lining, and a fur coat that exposed his torso with a necklace that had two curved fangs in the center. He also held a fake club. Ah. Noctic is never cold. Varrick said with his arms crossed. Bolin then noticed a red-haired woman he remembered seeing in the South Pole named Ginger. Oh hey Ginger. Bolin said with a smile. Ginger walked next to Varrick as she turned like a diva with her hair bouncing. She wore a short light blue top that had fur lining at the collar with 3 individual feather-like fur tied to the collar and exposed her stomach, a light blue skirt with fur lining that stopped at her knees, black wrapping around her forearms. Boots and a water tribe necklace. How about that, huh? He's referring to her hair, it's the latest product in my very manageable hairline. Very dye. Varrick said with a grin. We get some shots of her using it before Unalaq kidnaps her, and I guarantee we sell 1,000,000 cases week 1. Suddenly Korra, riding Naga, came in, making everyone turn to her. Bolin, I need you to watch Naga while I'm gone. Korra said as she jumped off Naga and made her way to Bolin. Where are you going? Bolin asked. Fire Nation. I'm going to try and get them to help the South. Korra said. Suddenly Naruto dashed into the room using his airbending to increase her speed and then used it to stop next to Korra. Sorry I was late, but man is your polar bear dog fast. Naruto said, but then he noticed the outfit Bolin was wearing. What the hell is that? Naruto questioned, feeling a bit disturbed. It's my new outfit for the movie. I'm Noctic. Bolin said as he posed valiantly. Not bad, huh? Bolin said with a smile. Naruto just blinked and stood silent for a moment before he turned to Varrick. You got any barf bags here? Naruto asked. You're mean. Bolin said with a pout. Varrick, I need a boat. Korra said. What happened to General Iroh? Varrick asked. Someone snitched to the president. Naruto said. Who? Bolin asked. Ask her. Naruto said, pointing at Korra with his thumb. I think it was Mako. Korra said with a glare. Super cop. Well, should have seen that coming. Naruto said with a dull look and his arms crossed. There's no way Mako would have told, right? Bolin said. He's a rookie who swore his duty to his superiors. I think it's pretty obvious that it's him. Naruto said. Bolin felt sad because Naruto was most likely right about his brother. Korra then suddenly ran out of the building. Glairmeister better get a punch from Korra for this. Naruto said, but then he noticed a look from Bolin. Sorry dude, forgot he was your brother. Naruto said, shrugging his shoulders. It's cool. Bolin said. Naruto was about to leave, but then he saw Mamoru pop his head out of his duffel bag that was still tied to Naga's saddle. Have you been sleeping in there this entire time? Naruto asked. Mamoru yipped yes to his blonde partner. Oh. Naruto then turned to Bolin. Bolin, so you think? Already on it, just go. Bolin said. Thanks. Naruto thanked the earthbender as he then raced after Korra hoping she didn't break Mako's bones and pound his face, and he used the term hope loosely. Later at the police station. Korra kicked the door to the room where Mako was stationed as she saw her boyfriend and glared at him. "You ratted me out to the president," Korra shouted as she stomped towards Mako. Naruto made it to see Korra making her way to Mako. "Korra, let me explain," Mako said, but then he noticed Naruto making his way to them. "What is he doing here?" Mako shouted standing up as he pointed at Naruto. "Sup Wonder Boy." Naruto greeted him with his hands in his pockets. The three heard laughter making them turn to see Lu and Gang, two detectives with massive egos, busting their guts at Naruto's nickname for Mako. "Wonder Boy. Brilliant." Gang, the tall one, said. "Ignoring Tweedledee and Tweedledum over there, would you rat us out?" Naruto asked with a glare. "Naruto, I got this," Korra said holding her hand up to halt him and his words. "Mako, explain to me why my boyfriend stabbed me in the back." Korra demanded answers as she slammed her hand on the desk and placed her other on her hip. "Look, the president of the republic asked me a direct question," Mako said. "And staying silent wasn't an option?" Naruto asked acting like a smartass again. "I got this," Korra said. "Well, what was I supposed to do?" Mako asked. "You betrayed me and my family," Korra shouted. Korra then suddenly kicked the desk with some added airbending, sending it in front of Chief Bifeng's doors. Naruto whistled at the sight. "I always did like a woman with fire and soul," Naruto thought. "That's always been your type." A low and deep voice spoke making Naruto look around to notice nothing, and apparently no one heard it as they all stared at Korra. "What the hell? Is this in my head or something?" Naruto thought, but then he shook his mind off it and returned his sights to Korra and Mako. "Enough," Mako shouted. "Look, I have a job to do. I can't constantly be worrying about keeping you from making another huge mistake." And now he's in the doghouse. Naruto thought as he looked at Korra with worry. "Well, I have a job to do too. Only it seems like you're always standing in the way of me getting it done," Korra shouted back. "Well, I guess if we're both putting our jobs first, maybe there's no room for our relationship," Mako shouted. Naruto and Korra looked at Mako with shock. "So what? Are you breaking up with me?" Korra asked with a hint of sadness. Mako didn't look her in the eyes as he stayed silent for a moment before he answered. "Yeah, I guess I am," Mako said as he turned his gaze to her. Naruto looked at Mako with shock before he turned to Korra. Korra had sad eyes for a moment and then she left the room with tears in her eyes. Naruto looked at the open doors with a concerned and worried expression on his face. Sure, Naruto wanted them to break up so he could have a chance with Korra, but he never wanted to see Korra be sad and cry, and now that he's seen it, he never wanted to see it again. Naruto then gritted his teeth and tightened his fist as he then turned and glared fiercely at Mako. Mako may have been a brave man, but seeing Naruto's angry look on his face unnerved him, and now he felt as if some dark and dangerous energy coming from him. "You baka," Naruto said. "What? Idiot. What the hell is wrong with you?" Naruto yelled. "Hey, butt out, this was between me and Korra. It's our problem," Mako yelled back. "Between your relationship, true, but not what's going down in the south. It's a war, Mako. People were counting for backup and you threw that hope out the window. What was I supposed to do? Not snitched. You not only betrayed your friend, but someone who was also your girlfriend at the time. You don't get it. I don't have to. I have a saying. Those who go against their orders are scum, but those who abandon their friends are lower than scum. I don't want to hear any of that crap from you. You never worked with the law, so you don't understand it," Mako yelled as he glared at Naruto. "Oh, I understand it, but believe it or not, I understand war even better," Naruto yelled back with his own glare. "War is hell, Mako. It's horrible for the soldiers, but it's even worse for those who live innocently on the place of battle. Do you even know what happens during this crap? People are killed, tortured, brainwashed and even raped. People are suffering over there. When war between two idiots happen and people are for it, then I would understand, but this war's outcome is the fate of people's freedom. People who were being pushed around and you were witness to it. All you could have done was kept silent, but instead you just squealed, which now means that there is no help coming to those people who need it. How the hell are you going to sleep at night knowing that because of you not keeping your mouth shut, a race is suffering and watching their fellow people getting harmed or even worse?" Mako stared at Naruto in shock as he was now feeling guilty. "I was just doing my job," Mako said with one final glare. "And who here respects you for doing that?" Naruto asked with his own glare. Mako's eyes widened a bit at Naruto's response. Mako then looked down to the ground feeling a sense of shame. "That's what I thought," Naruto said. The blonde then left the room and headed out to leave. Naruto walked down the hall, but then he noticed Korra leaning against the wall near the door. "Oh, Korra." Naruto was now worried that she might feel even more saddened and angry about his and Mako's exchange of words. I'm sorry if you heard all that. It's fine. Korra said. Korra then got off the wall and turned to leave. Naruto had a concerned look on his face as he then followed her. Lin saw the whole argument between Naruto and Mako as she now had a shocked face. Mind if I ask how this all started? Lin asked Mako. I broke up with the Avatar. Mako said turning to her. You got off easy. Chief Bifrong said crossing her arms. You should have seen Air Temple Island when Tenzin broke up with me. Lin said with a smirk. Well, I still feel that it's worse for me. Mako said. Why's that? Lin asked. I think I sent Korra into the arms of a criminal. Mako said looking at the exposed entrance. Oh. That does sound pretty bad. Lin said. Later at the docks. Naruto followed Korra to the docks where a worker for Varrick gave her the boat. After the worker left, Korra sat at the edge of the docks with her feet dangling off the edge. Naruto then walked by her and sat next to her. They both stayed silent as they stared at the murky ocean. Naruto turned to see that Korra was still crying. Naruto wanted to hug her, but he felt that that wouldn't help. Naruto looked to the side as he decided on what was the next best thing. You know you can tell me anything right now if you want. I listen. Naruto said. I just don't understand why he would betray me. I mean, my family along with the rest of the South are out there fighting a war and he ratted me out just because of a job. Korra said as she cried more. Well, that's one of the reasons why I don't like the law that much. It usually leads to crap like this. I mean, I'm okay with it because it keeps anarchy from being the dominant way of the world, but sometimes it brings more harm onto people with on a few occasions hurting more people than they have saved. Naruto said. That's just it. Isn't saving lives what's important to people like Mako? Korra said. Mako's a good guy. I bet he wants to help, but you know what, screw it, I'm just talking crap, that's not helping. Korra, in this world even if people care for others, a community usually looks out for themselves. Naruto said. As much as I want to punch you and say that it's not true, I have to admit that you're right. Korra said. Korra looked into the water with her tears still falling from her eyes. You can still punch me if that'll make you smile. Naruto said. Korra couldn't help but giggle at Naruto's words. Are you some sort of masochist? Korra asked with a small smile. You aren't the first to ask that. Naruto said. Who was? My reflection. Naruto said. Korra laughed at that. Glad I could make you smile. Naruto said with a smile of his own. It helps that you're here, but you know you don't have to stay with me. Korra said. Korra, if I didn't want to be here then people would think that you were talking to some sort of imaginary friend. Naruto said with a smile, making Korra smile. I can't say much now, but I want you to know that even though we've only known each other for a few days, I'm glad that I got to meet you, Korra, and that you were my first friend. Naruto confessed. Korra blushed at Naruto's kind words, but then she noticed his last choice of words. Your first friend? Didn't you make other friends when you were younger? Korra asked. A few, but they ended on a bad note, and ever since then I've been afraid to make any more. Naruto said looking into the water. Korra looked at Naruto with concerned, sad eyes. Ever since I met you for some reason I just wanted to follow, you know. I don't know why, but I wanted this. Being next to you. Naruto said blushing as he looked down to the side. Korra blushed as she heard Naruto's words. Naruto then turned to her and said. Korra, I don't know about the rest, but I promise you that no matter what happens, I'll be by your side through all of Thigh. Naruto was then suddenly interrupted as Korra slammed her lips against his own. Naruto's eyes widened in shock, but then closed them as he cupped Korra's cheeks as she wrapped her arms around Naruto's neck. The kiss lasted for what felt like hours, but was really minutes. The two had then separated and looked at each other's eyes. Does this mean? Naruto started. I'm not sure, Korra said. Works for me. Naruto said, shrugging his shoulders. Naruto and Korra then locked lips again as they made out, enjoying every second. After making out for a while, they separated once again. Naruto leaned in again, but Korra stopped his lips with her index finger. Hold it, lover boy, I have to go. Korra said with a smile. Right. Naruto said with a bit of embarrassed smile and a red blush. Korra and Naruto stood up and the two headed towards the boat. Korra jumped in the boat and when she saw Naruto was about to jump in, she stopped him. Naruto, I think I should go to the Fire Nation alone. Korra said. Are you sure? Naruto asked. Korra nodded in confirmation. Well, I don't like you being alone, but I'll respect my new girlfriend's wishes. Naruto said with a smile. You think that I'm your girlfriend? Korra asked with a smirk. Oh, so does the water princess need a little convincing? Naruto asked with a smirk as he leaned closer to Korra. Just buy me some ramen when I get back and I'll think about it. Korra said with a smirk. Deal. Naruto said, standing up straight. Korra and Naruto then stared into each other's eyes as they smiled at one another. I'll see you when you get back. Naruto said. It's a date. Korra said as she started the engine. Korra then sped off towards the Fire Nation, leaving Naruto at the docks. As Naruto saw her ride off, he couldn't contain himself anymore as he suddenly jumped into the air with his fist pumped high into the sky. Yada. I got my dream girl. Yes. Naruto cheered as he started to breakdance on the docks. Korra heard him and saw his little dance that made her giggle as she blushed. I already can't wait to come back. Korra said to herself as she looked straight ahead. Later, at Varrick's movie studio. Naruto headed back inside as he saw Varrick and his film crew finish filming a scene. Naruto headed towards Varrick, who was sitting in his director's chair. Hey Varrick, how was the first day's shooting? Naruto asked his old friend. Great. Varrick exclaimed with vigor. Varrick then noticed the big smile on Naruto's face. Oh, something good happened today? Varrick asked with a smirk. Did something happen? Bolin asked as he made his way to them. How was Mako? Are he and Korra okay? Well, no fun Jr. is doing good I think, but him and Korra are done. Naruto answered. So Mako and Korra broke up? Aw man, that's too bad. Bolin said. So who ended it? Varrick asked leaning back in his chair with his arm on the top of it. Sir tall, dark and brooding. Naruto said. And let me guess. You're so happy because you and the Avatar hit it off. Varrick said with excitement. Well, I comforted her, then I said some things, and then next thing I know, she puts her lips to mine, and then we started making out twice. Naruto said. No, Bolin said in shock. Well done my boy. Varrick said with a grin as he slapped Naruto's back. I have been planning out names for your future children. What do you think of Varrick Jr. for your first son? Varrick said with a grin. Tempting, but I've always wanted to name my first son Shinichiku. Naruto said. Bamboo. Not as good as Varrick Jr., but future Uncle Varrick likes it. Varrick said with a grin. Can I be Uncle Bolin? Please. Bolin begged on his knees. Yeah sure. I bet my son would love knowing his Uncle Bolin, Uncle Varrick, Aunt Asami, Aunt Julie, and even Uncle Slappy. Naruto said. Uncle Slappy? Who's that? Varrick asked with a raised eyebrow. Mako? Bolin asked with half-lidded eyes. Mako? Naruto said with a smile. Nice. It would be a grand achievement for a child to slap an uncle. Varrick said. You know my hopes for the future so well. Naruto said with a smile, but then suddenly his eyes widened as he saw an image of Korra fighting a dark spirit. Yes I do. Varrick said proudly, but then he noticed that Naruto's breathing was increasing. Hey kid, what's wrong? Varrick asked. Naruto suddenly held his head as he saw Korra's eyes glow as she tried surrounding the dark spirit with golden water. Hey Naruto, are you okay? Bolin asked. Naruto's breathing increased as he started to sweat. Suddenly he saw Korra send fire at the charging spirit only for the spirit to slam into her as the two then went into the water. Naruto then stopped breathing for a moment before he then fainted onto the floor. Naruto. Get a medic here, stat. Varrick shouted. Bolin bent down next to Naruto and grabbed his shoulders as he shook him a bit. Naruto, can you hear me? What happened? Wake up man. Bolin said, but the blonde stayed unconscious. Naruto. In a dark place. Naruto groaned as he felt his backside become wet. Naruto cracked open his eyes to see a ceiling high up in the sky. Naruto looked to the side to see he was in some kind of sewer. What the hell? Naruto questioned as he sat up and rubbed the back of his head. It's about time you finally came. A voice spoke. Naruto looked up to see a giant fox with 9 tails. Holy shit, I'm dead aren't I? Naruto said in shock. No, Baka. Kurama said. Baka, that's what I and who the hell are you? Naruto questioned. Let's just say I'm an old friend. The giant fox said. Are you by any chance Mamoru's father? Naruto asked. Wait, what the am I saying? You're a giant fox with 9 tails with giant fangs. If you eat me then you're going to have bad indigestion because I won't go down without a fight. Naruto said with a glare as he got in his airbending pose. I don't have time to play with you Gaki, or is the life of your girlfriend not important to you? The fox said. You know what happened to Korra? Tell me. Naruto ordered. What's the magic word? The fox said. Eat you. Naruto said with a glare. You're even a bigger pain in the ass than your original self. The fox said with a glare. Original self? What the hell's that supposed to mean? Naruto asked. Look, I don't have much time because I don't want to sit my ass here any longer, but your girlfriend is fine, but you need to go to the Southern Air Temple. Find that bald mama's boy Tenzin and learn the original ways of airbending from him. Korra will meet you there. The fox said. How do you know all that? And who are you? Naruto asked. Sorry, but that's all the time we have. Sayonara kid. The fox said as a bright light consumed Naruto. In Varrick's movie studio. Wait. Naruto shouted as he sat up. He looked around to see that he scared the bejeebas out of everyone around him. Naruto then turned to Varrick. Varrick, I need a ride. Naruto said. What kind of ride? Varrick asked. At the top of Varrick's yacht. In the control room, Varrick, with Naruto and Zhu Li next to him with Naruto holding his duffel bag and with Mamoru on his head, pressed a button that led to a hatch on the deck to open as a hot air balloon came out of it. What better way for an airbender to travel than through the air? Varrick said with a grin. Thanks Varrick. Naruto said. Anytime kid. Just remember that I'll still be here waiting for you. Varrick said with a smile. I know. Naruto said. Naruto extended his hand to Varrick for him to shake, but as Varrick instead hugged the blonde, shocking him, but the blonde smiled and returned the hug. The two separated from their manly hug. Now go find this mama's boy, learn how to be an even better airbender, and get your girl back. Varrick ordered. Yes sir. Naruto said with a salute as he then dashed down towards the deck. Varrick and Zhu Li watched from the control room's window to see Naruto jump in the balloon's basket and started up. Once the balloon made it into the air, Naruto started to head straight for the Southern Air Temple, thank goodness he collected maps. Our boy is growing up Zhu Li. Varrick said with a smile as a tear formed in his eye. He sure is sir. Zhu Li said with a smile. She always liked Naruto. He wasn't one of those people who were weirded out or afraid of her, but he also talked to her like a normal human being unlike Varrick. As Varrick wiped his tear away, a thought came to his head. Zhu Li. Take a note. The day Naruto becomes famous, make action figures of him and Korra. The kids will just beg their parents to buy them. Varrick ordered. Yes sir. Zhu Li said, writing the note down on her notepad. With Naruto. Naruto stared towards the sky with a determined look on his face. I'll be there Korra. I just hope you will too. Naruto said as he continued his journey with only his foxy partner by his side. So this part ends here. Alright, that's it for today's video guys. Let me know in the comments section how was the story, and also don't forget to like, share and subscribe. I will meet you in another video. Bye bye.